Chapter 123. Chapter 123. About to have a breakdown. Once Qin Feng asked, Lu Bingbing found that her body felt strange. Her stomach indeed began to hurt, and the pain kept getting stronger and fiercer. In an instant, Lu Bingbing realized what had happened. A stifling coldness shot out of her body, and she glared at Qin Feng. You swide our cups, didn't you? Chief Lu, what do you mean? Why would I swee the cups? Qin Feng feigned ignorance. Lu Bingbing gritted her teeth angrily. She already understood what happened. She was played by Qin Feng. Thinking back, Qin Feng probably swide the cups when she bent down to pick up the documents. When she thought about how Qin Feng pushed the documents off the desk, Lu Bingbing realized that the brat played her in circles. And to think she even felt guilty earlier. Now, Lu Bingbing thought she was too naive. Qin Feng, you're very good. You wait, just you wait. Lu Bingbing's stomach hurt more and more. She felt the urge to set everything free. She resisted the urge to beat up Qin Feng that instant, and immediately ran towards the door of the interrogation room. After she finishes releasing everything, then she could come back and clean up Qin Feng. Wait, Lu Bingbing hadn't even touched the handle of the door when Qin Feng leaned on it. Chief Lu, you have to clarify what you mean. How did I offend you? Why are you making me wait? When she saw Qin Feng feigning ignorance, Lu Bingbing's eyes went ablaze. She snarled, Qin Feng, fuck off. You clearly know what you've done. Chief Lu, I didn't do anything. You're tarnishing my righteous reputation and hurting my noble spirit. If I've done something wrong, just tell me and I'll change. But I can't stand it when people slander me so casually. That's a no-no. So, Chief Lu, you have to explain or I won't let you out. Qin Feng put his hands on his hips and said this with an air of righteousness. Lu Bingbing's face darkened. She felt that Qin Feng was really despicable. He shamelessly talked about fallacies as if they were true. But Lu Bingbing couldn't bring up Qin Feng swaying the cups because she was the one who put laxatives in it. If she brought it up, she would be the one to get embarrassed. Move. Lu Bingbing's stomach felt unbearable, and she had no more strength to get mad. In the name of my virtuous soul and lofty reputation, I'm not moving. Unless you want to step over my dead body today, Qin Feng said with a frown. Qin Feng, why don't you go die? Lu Bingbing couldn't stand it anymore. At this time, she crouched onto the floor and covered her stomach. A cold sweat broke out on her forehead. Chief Lu, you don't look so good. Are you sick? Qin Feng also squatted down and helped Lu Bingbing wipe her sweat with an expression of concern. Get your grubby paws away from me. I don't need your concern. Lu Bingbing slapped Qin Feng's hand away and glared at him. Tell me, what can I do to get you to fuck off? I don't understand. Why would Chief Lu have such a rude request of making me leave? As an upstanding man, how could I leave? Qin Feng's serious expression suddenly changed and revealed a slight smile. His eyes were glued to Lu Bingbing's chest. Chief Lu, will you really agree to do anything? Lu Bingbing rolled her eyes. If her stomach didn't hurt so much that she felt completely strengthless, even if she couldn't beat Qin Feng in a fight, she would still duke it out. Retract your dog eyes. If you dare let your gaze wander again, I'll pull your eyes out and step on them until they explode. All right, then Chief Lu can only step over my dead body today. Qin Feng reinstated an air of righteousness. He stood at the door and began to whistle. Lu Bingbing desperately had to answer the call of nature. So when she heard Qin Feng's extremely loud whistling, she wanted to go crazy. The color of her face continued to worsen as the laxative came to the stage of peak effectiveness. She felt as though the inside of her body began to boil. She feared that if she didn't get out now, she would embarrass herself. Qin Feng, I can't do it anymore. Hurry up. Not long later, Lu Bingbing put down her front and looked at Qin Feng tenderly. Qin Feng almost stumbled and fell onto the ground. Lu Bingbing's words were too easy to misinterpret. Chief Lu, how do you want me to be faster? Hurry and tell me what you want. Hurry and let me out of here. Lu Bingbing's words were concise and straightforward. She wasn't going to make it soon. Chief Lu, you know that I'm not a petty person that takes advantage of people. If I suggest something improper, will you look down on me and internally laugh at me? Lu Bingbing clenched her teeth and said word by word, I won't. Since Chief Lu already said this, then I'll trouble you and really bring out the improper suggestions. Chief Lu, let's kiss. No way. Even if Lu Bingbing almost couldn't hold it anymore, she flatly rejected this improper request. Qin Feng thought for a bit and said with seriousness, How about this? Hug me and let me feel your sincerity. Then, I'll let you out. Kissing was too much for Lu Bingbing, and even hugging made her feel conflicted. But, due to the circumstances, she was forced to her wits' end. Lu Bingbing clenched her teeth and hugged Qin Feng. The two both squatted in the ground and hugged. A natural and fresh, perfume-free fragrance drifted into Qin Feng's nose. He stuck his nose onto Lu Bingbing's beautiful hair and inhaled deeply twice. An unnamed comfort arose in his heart. After hugging Qin Feng, she smelled the unique, manly smell on his body. It was a bit fragrant and a bit enchanting. Lu Bingbing was surprised to find that she didn't hate the smell. Although she'd been hugged by this beast Qin Feng before, this situation was different from the previous one. That was a coincidental hug that took place while she was unprepared. This time, Lu Bingbing initiated the hug with Qin Feng. It felt really strange. Besides the feeling of resistance and disgust, there was also a sliver of wonder in her heart. Lu Bingbing was shocked to find that her heartbeat actually increased. Qin Feng, that's enough. After hugging for 10 seconds, Lu Bingbing hurriedly pushed Qin Feng away. Chief Lu, I think you've misunderstood. We can be considered good friends, so I wanted a simple friendly hug. I didn't have any impure thoughts or bad intentions. This kind of hug doesn't even need to last 2 seconds, but seeing how engrossed Chief Lu was, I felt bad disturbing you. Move. They already hugged and liberties were taken, so Qin Feng moved out of the way. Lu Bingbing shot out of the interrogation room like a rocket and bolted toward the restroom. Lu Bingbing hadn't left for very long when Uncle Fu and Chief Zhang hurriedly rushed over. After seeing Qin Feng, Uncle Fu took the initiative and rushed over. Chapter 124. Chapter 124, 100-Year Blood Lotus. Young Master Qin, are you all right? Ruoro went back to the Qin Manor and said you were arrested. I'm fine. There's no need to worry, Uncle Fu. Qin Feng waved his hand and smiled. Chief Zhang also greeted Qin Feng with a smile. Young Master Qin, I just looked into it, and this was a misunderstanding. You were only riding your bike to admire the scenery at Coiled Snake Mountain. How could you possibly have participated in a street race? Chief Lu was careless. I hope young Master Qin forgives us. While saying this, Chief Zhang even extended a pennant. Young Master Qin, last time at the Western-styled restaurant a hoodlum wanted to hit you. You must have been traumatized. This is also considered a mistake on the part of the police since they didn't successfully carry out their duty to protect the safety and harmony of the citizens. This is a brave citizen pennant. Please accept it. Qin Feng came to the Northern District Subbureau 3 times and got 2 pennants. He suddenly fell in love with this place. He thought about how warm and considerate this family was. He had to come often in the future. Then thank you, Chief Zhang. Qin Feng took the pennant and said, That's right. Last time's Western restaurant accident. Luckily, Chief Lu got there in time. If not for her continuous care and comfort for me, I don't know how I'd escape the shadow of the accident. This pennant should belong to the both of us. When you see Chief Lu later, I'll trouble you to tell her about the pennant. Okay, I'll certainly pass the message along. After exchanging polite words, Qin Feng and Uncle Fu left the police station. Qin Feng wondered what Lu Bingbing's expression would be like once she heard that he brought another pennant home. He couldn't help but laugh aloud. When they got back to the Qin Manor, Qin Huang and everyone else in the manor were waiting for Qin Feng at the villa lounge. Once they saw that he returned safe and sound, they all sighed in relief. Qin Feng, are you all right? Since Su Ruoro was also there, Qin Huang kept up Qin Feng's act. He wasn't able to express too much concern, so he glared at Qin Feng with some dissatisfaction. Chairman Qin, I'm fine. Didn't I tell Ruoro that I know Chief Lu? We're good friends that can talk about anything. She invited me for tea and a heart-to-heart conversation, Qin Feng said merrily. Qin Feng and Han Yingying stared at Qin Feng with disdain. Lu Bingbing invited him for tea? Good friends that could talk about anything? More like Lu Bingbing couldn't wait to kill him. All right, since you're fine, everyone go sleep. You brat, you kept Ying and Ruoro up until now. Go apologize to them, Qin Huang reprimanded before taking the lead to head up the stairs. Su Ruoro immediately looked at Qin Feng and waved. Qin Feng, I'm fine, you don't have to apologize to me. Ying, I'm guilty of worrying you. I'll walk you back to your villa to rest. There's no need for that. Once the image of Qin Feng sneaking around and sniffing Su Ruoro's underwear appeared in her head, she immediately stopped him. I'll go back myself? I'm afraid that if you come with me, I'll lose undergarments. Qin Feng and Su Ruoro were the only two left in the large living room. After hearing what Han Ying said, Su Ruoro looked at Qin Feng differently. Her gaze now became guarded. Ruoro, then I'll take you back to your room. Qin Feng looked smilingly at Su Ruoro. I can go back myself. Su Ruoro was like a frightened deer and immediately ran up the stairs. She didn't have that many undergarments to begin with, so she was even more afraid they'd be stolen. Women these days, why are they so polite? We're all tenants anyway, Qin Feng muttered while returning to his room. Once he got in bed, his attitude suddenly became serious. He stuck his hand into his pocket and pulled out a small wooden box. The small wooden box was rectangular, narrow, dark red, and was about the length of a palm of a hand. This was not Qin Feng's own box, but was provided to him on Coiled Snake Mountain tonight. When Su Qiuyu initiated the hug with Qin Feng before she left, she shoved it into his arms. Though Su Qiuyu's movements were quick, Qin Feng still felt it but didn't stop or expose her. The two had just met, and Qin Feng wasn't so self-absorbed that he thought Su Qiuyu fell in love with him at first sight. He slowly opened the red wooden box. A fresh, herbal smell wafted into his nose. The image of a dark red pill that was a shape similar to the snow lotus herb flower appeared before his eyes. As a young master from a wealthy family, he had seen the Tianshan snow lotus herb before. It was extremely rare, and his old man always made medicinal liquor with it to drink. But the Tianshan show lotus special to Xinjiang was a pale yellow, while the herb in this wooden box was red. Though the shape was similar to the snow lotus, the color was a dark red, so it clearly wasn't Tianshan snow lotus. Master, this is a comparatively precious and rare 100-year blood lotus pill. Every 100 years when the flower blooms, it absorbs the essence of heaven, earth, sun, and moon. It contains a large quantity of spiritual energy and is the most important medicinal ingredient in concocting pills of immortality. Little Pig always appeared at key times. Qin Feng suddenly deeply understood the true meaning of a very close same-sex friend. 100-year blood lotus. Sounds pretty amazing, Qin Feng mumbled to himself. Master, do you know what the selling price of this 100-year blood lotus pill is in the Hedonist sovereign system? Little Pig didn't wait for Qin Feng to guess and said with an exaggerated expression, 10,000 Hedonist points. Qin Feng jumped in shock and said excitedly, Little Pig, hurry. I'll sell this 100-year blood lotus pill and buy Windblade skills. This 100-year blood lotus isn't an item of the system, so it can only be stored but not sold. Little Pig had a look of disdain. Master, do you know the uses of the 100-year blood lotus? I can't believe you wanted to sell it. This is the most vital medicinal ingredient for learning to make blood chi pills. Do you know what the blood chi pill can be used for? If normal people eat one, they can immediately break through the first internal stage and step onto the path of becoming a martial cultivator. When low-leveled martial cultivators use it, there's a possibility of breaking through the fourth internal level or the fourth external stage. Wow, it's that great? This time, Qin Feng understood how precious this 100-year blood lotus pill was. Little Pig, then how could I concoct pills of immortality? The Hedonist sovereign system's medicinal interface was already unlocked when the host bought the elementary gold sword medicine, the lowest leveled medicine. But the host can only unlock the basic requirements for concocting pills of immortality after breaking through the fourth internal level. At the moment, Master has no way of doing so, Little Pig said. Qin Feng suddenly felt that something was off. So you're saying that I need to break through the fourth internal stage before I can concoct pills and create the blood chi pill, but the most the pill can do is help the user quickly break through to stage for internal abilities? So what the heck is the use of me concocting this blood-chi pill? Little Pig chewed his lips and began to play dead. But in the end, this blood-chi pill was pretty great. If he couldn't use it, he could give it to someone else. It's pretty incredible for a single pill to be able to create a stage 1 internal expert. With a thought from Qin Feng, he stored the 100-year blood lotus pill in the system. At this time, he still couldn't use this toy. Chapter 125. Chapter 125, Need to Rebel. Yun Province, Sky City. Su Qiuyu drove the Reventon and sped across the cool and clear streets. She was already back at Sky City. She saw a black Benz following her through her rearview mirror and smirked. The instant she gave Qin Feng the Su family's heavily guarded treasure, the 100-year blood lotus, she felt as though a huge weight was lifted off her chest. When she saw that the person in the Benz had not noticed this and kept following her, she sighed in relief. However, she knew that this news could not be hidden for long. Soon, these people would notice that the 100-year blood lotus was moved. Su Qiuyu had no way of telling when they would find that the trail led to Qin Feng, but she could only do her best to string them along. She would take advantage of this time to find someone who could heal her grandfather's illness. As long as her grandfather woke up, everything would return to normal for the Su family. Not long later, Qin Feng had already been working at Royal Group for 10 days. He also came a long way from not wanting to get out of bed and internally rebelling against going to work like he did on the first day. Now, he woke up early every morning, ran over to Su Ruiro's room, sneaked a peek at how she looked with her loose pajamas, and went to the shared restroom to brush his teeth and wash his face with her. During these 10 days, Qin Feng became familiar with his co-workers in the sales department. At the very least, the male sales representatives had his name deeply ingrained in their memories. After all, his nickname was Beast. Who told him to take liberties with their pure little beauty Su Ruiro every day at work. Today at work, Qin Feng saw two familiar figures, Xiao Qiu and Xiao Ma. These two stayed at the hospital for 5 days and were just released last night after getting kicked down the stairs by Qin Feng. Older brother Qin, morning. Once they saw Qin Feng arrive, Xiao Ma and Xiao Qiu immediately put on smiles and greeted him. Qin Feng's expression fell. He berated them. Who's your real brother? Don't randomly claim people as your relatives. Their lips chewed and they immediately changed their verbiage. Big brother Feng, good morning. Now that's right. Qin Feng smilingly patted the two on their shoulders and led Su Ruiro away. Qin Feng, it seems that those two really respect you? Su Ruiro sat at her desk and said worriedly, they have a bad reputation in the company for using force to bully people. Why you have to be careful? Nah. Qin Feng merrily waved his hand. Last time they went to smoke by the opening of the stairs and forgot to bring a lighter. I gifted one to them so they were impressed by my free and easy personality. They insisted on recognizing me as their elder brother. I didn't age. When she saw Qin Feng beginning to brag again, Su Ruiro shook her head. Then, she ignored him, buried her head, and began to work. After greeting Qin Feng, Xiao Ma and Xiao Qiu's worried hearts slowly began to calm down. The two experienced how powerful Qin Feng was, so they were afraid that he'd take revenge on them. However, based on what just happened, it looked like Qin Feng already seemed not to care about this matter. Xiao Ma, Xiao Qiu, come to my office. Both of their hearts had just calmed when Wang Chao's call suddenly came from behind them. They both jumped in fright and exchanged glances. Then, they walked into Wang Chao's office with dark expressions. What are you two doing? Where have you been for the past couple of days? Once they entered, Wang Chao viciously scolded them. He saw Qin Feng and Su Ruiro come to the company together and suspected that they were already in a relationship. He hated Qin Feng more and more, but he couldn't get anything on the brat. And during this short period of time, he couldn't think of a way to clean him up. Right from the morning, his stomach was filled with fire. He vented this fire onto Xiao Ma and Xiao Qiu. The two were usually at Wang Chao's beck and call, and they usually agreed with everything he said. Today, their attitudes changed. They looked coldly at Wang Chao. Group leader Wang, we accidentally fell down the stairs and were in the hospital for 5 days. There's no need to be so angry at us, is there? Wang Chao viciously lifted his head and looked at the two suspiciously. He already discovered an abnormality. Xiao Ma and Xiao Qiu were really strange today. I want you two to clean up Qin Feng. Why haven't you taken action yet? That brat prances around in my face all day, and it annoys me. I'll give you two another day today. If I don't see Qin Feng lying in the hospital, you two can scram. The two were beaten into the hospital because they were trying to help Wang Chao clean up Qin Feng. In the end, they got chewed out instead. Both of their hearts were filled with fire. Humph, aren't you just a little group leader? You seem to treat yourself as someone important. If you want to force us to leave, go ahead. We'll go to General Manager Li and tell her that you commanded us to deal with Qin Feng. If we leave, you'll have to leave as well. What did you say? Wang Chao was stunned, and his pen stopped abruptly. He pushed up his glasses and closely sized up Xiao Ma and Xiao Qiu. He was so surprised that he even thought he recognized the wrong people. Were these still the reverent and respectful, wildly ass-kissing brats from before? They must have fucking eaten bear and leopard gall to be so brave. If you guys dare, say that shit again. I think you two haven't fucking woken up yet. Wang Chao slammed the desk angrily. Qin Feng had not even been cleaned up, and these two wanted to rebel. Wang Chao, if you fucking dare make a big fuss towards me again, I'll kill you. Since they had already torn off their masks, they had nothing to hold them back. With one on the left and one on the right, they arrived beside Wang Chao. Each grabbed one of Wang Chao's shoulders and lifted him. What are you two doing? Hurry and let go of me. Okay, you two stinking brats, you want to rebel and you don't even care about your group leader? You clearly don't want to get along in the sales department in the future. In this moment of calamity, Wang Chao directly pulled out his status to suppress them. Xiao Qiu and Xiao Ma hated this the most. Not only did they not let go, their faces immediately became sinister. Wang Chao, you want to make our lives difficult? Consider what you're capable of first. Be careful going home in case you get covered in a sack, knocked out, and thrown into a dumpster. Wang Chao was scared to death. Without his status, his small physique was no ma for Xiao Qiu and Xiao Ma. He was afraid that with a casual smack from them, his skeleton would fall apart. What do you guys want to do? Hurry and let go of me. Your elders don't want to do anything. We just want to clarify to you that starting from today, don't fucking order the two of us about. And don't look for trouble with us, or you'll regret it. After saying these harsh words, Xiao Ma and Xiao Qiu let go at the same time. Wang Chao was unprepared and fell roughly on his bottom. His buttocks almost fell apart, and it hurt so much that his face contorted in pain. Xiao Qiu and Xiao Ma pretended that they saw nothing. They strutted out of the office and ruthlessly slammed the door behind them. Wang Chao sat on the ground. After a long time, he still couldn't come out of his stupor. All of this happened too quickly. His little heart couldn't withstand it. What kind of wrong medicine did Xiao Ma and Xiao Qiu take that they became this way? The whole morning, Wang Chao sat in his office and deliberated this question in pain. On the other hand, Qin Feng slept comfortably while splayed on his work desk. Qin Feng, time to eat. When lunchtime rolled around, Su Ruoro called Qin Feng awake. She looked at him with a pout. I have no idea how you're going to stay in the sales department. If you keep sleeping like this during work, be careful, you might get fired. Qin Feng tidied up his hair that was mussed from sleep, patted his chest, and said grandly, Who would dare fire me? I'm the champion sales representative of our sales department, an undefeated legend. Qin Feng wasn't lying. He sold Cloud City Hua Manor's worst villa to Sun Yi for over $1 million. With this achievement, even if he slept for a quarter of the year in Royal Group, he would still be stably at first place. However, Su Ruoro didn't know about this matter. Qin Feng just continued to brag. Su Ruoro scrunched her attractive nose. Then, she talked and laughed with Qin Feng as they arrived at the employee cafeteria on the 3rd floor. Royal Group's 3rd floor was 1,000 square meters. The whole floor was the employee cafeteria, and its maximum capacity was 600 people. The 3rd floor's cafeteria was split into 2 large sections according to status in the company. One side was for the normal employees to eat in, while the other side was for managers and supervisors. The normal employee side was like a school cafeteria, and the other area was separated into half see-through private rooms and completely closed-off booths. The latter was evidently an area of a much higher grade. Su Ruoro and Qin Feng were normal employees, so they naturally were only able to eat in the normal employee section. As usual, Su Ruoro was in charge of grabbing a seat, and Qin Feng got the food. Soon, Qin Feng brought over 2 trays of sumptuous food and sat across from Su Ruoro. "You must be hungry. Hurry and eat." Su Ruoro nodded. She looked at the table full of sumptuous food and her eyes became crescent moons. The two ate happily when they suddenly detected 2 people arrive beside them. Qin Feng turned and saw Wang Chao and a sales representative from the sales department, Xiaozhang. "Oh, Qin Feng and Ruoro, what a coincidence. We randomly found a table, and we found co-workers from our sales department." Wang Chao sat down merrily and greeted Qin Feng and Su Ruoro. Xiaozhang only came over to sit because Wang Chao came over. He wanted to kiss Wang Chao's ass, but he could not be too obvious about it. He greeted the 3 of them in succession. Group leader Wang looked around the ordinary employee section a couple of times with his pair of cow eyes before finding this spot. A coincidence indeed. Qin Feng clearly didn't give Wang Chao any face and said whatever he wanted. Wang Chao awkwardly coughed twice and ignored Qin Feng. This time, he came to gain Su Ruoro's favor. If he didn't act now, this lady would become food for Qin Feng. "Ruoro, you look so thin that you're about to disappear. Here, I've especially gotten all of these good meat and vegetable dishes. Eat more. Girls your age are in the midst of developing. You mustn't learn from those other people that try and lose weight. Those people don't want their bodies anymore." Wang Chao talked and prepared to place food into Su Ruoro's bowl at the same time. Su Ruoro was so shocked that she immediately lifted her tray away. She felt disgusted when she looked at Wang Chao, so how would she eat the food he got for her? "Thank you for your kind intentions, group leader Wang. I don't like eating meat." "How can you not like to eat meat? Look at this child. Are you not going to listen to group leader Wang?" Wang Chao put on a serious expression and pretended to be mad as he said, "Hurry and bring your tray over. As your group leader, I should care about your daily life. What is there to be shy about?" Chapter 126. Chapter 126. All of your family members are ass-kissers. Su Ruoro was so anxious that she was about to cry. She pouted her little mouth and gave Qin Feng a pleading look. Qin Feng smiled and also picked up a couple of pieces of meat from his tray. Why wouldn't Ruoro like eating meat? Ruoro just doesn't like eating the meat that other people pick up with their chopsticks because it's filled with saliva. Isn't that gross? "Here, Ruoro, eat the beef I have for you. Eat more so your chest can develop more." Qin Feng grabbed some beef and extended it to Su Ruoro. She hesitated and extended her tray, caught the beef, and then began to eat with gusto. When he saw this, Wang Chao was so angry that he turned green. The food that he picked up had saliva, but did the food that Qin Feng pick up not have any? It seemed to him that these 2 already kissed. He wondered if they had done anything more intimate. Wang Chao couldn't let Qin Feng steal away a large delicacy like Su Ruoro. "Ruoro, actually, the food in the ordinary employee section of the cafeteria doesn't have much taste. You have never gone to the upper management section to eat? Huh? I went with General Manager Li once, and the food there is what you'd call fragrant. The chefs were all hired from 5-star hotels. When we get the chance, I'll take you to eat on that side." When he said this, Wang Chao couldn't help but lift his head toward the ceiling. From time to time, he glanced at Qin Feng and gloated indiscreetly. Su Ruoro couldn't help but burst into laughter. She had been staying at the Qin Manor for a while, and she knew that the head chef of there was hired from a 5-star hotel. The food in the manor was indeed delicious, and she and Qin Feng had the ability to eat it every day. "Ruoro, what are you laughing at? Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Haha, I'll have you know that I, Group Leader Wang, never talk big. I only deal with reality. Just you wait, in 2 days, if the sales department receives some sort of special guest, then I'll have the opportunity to eat on the other side. At that time, I'll bring you over and let you gain some more experience. Otherwise, you'll always follow behind and get fooled by the words of a sales representative with no future. We can't have that." Both Qin Feng and Su Ruoro could detect that Wang Chao's words hinted at something else. Su Ruoro felt a bit irritated. She got along with Qin Feng pretty well and thought that he treated her well, so she didn't want to hear other people saying bad things about him. Group Leader Wang, since you have so much face, why don't you bring Ruoro to the high-class dining area to experience the so-called greater aspects of society now? Qin Feng wasn't angry at all. It was beneath his dignity to be angry at someone like Wang Chao. Tea today is inconvenient. Wang Chao's expression changed completely. He looked like a cat whose tail was stepped on. What's inconvenient about it? Group Leader Wang, it's bad to be all talk and no action. Qin Feng smiled. I'm too lazy to care about you. Wang Chao's entire face darkened. He tilted his head and said nothing. He discovered that this Qin Feng was the bane of his existence. He did nothing all day but undermine him. Group Leader Wang was so angry that he couldn't find the words to refute Qin Feng. On the other hand, Xiao Zhang, who sat across from him, looked at Qin Feng with distaste. Qin Feng, what are you doing? How can you talk to Group Leader Wang like that? You're acting like you're so capable. If you're so great, bring Su Ruoro to eat on that side. Xiao Zhang seized this golden ass-kissing opportunity and felt impossibly elated. Wang Chao was moved. The gloomy expression on his face instantaneously dissipated. He nodded at Xiao Zhang with appraisal. What Xiao Zhang said is quite sensible. Comrade Qin Feng's attitude seems to imply that you have a lot of face in this company. It should be as easy as playing around for you to eat on that side. A group leader like me is truly untalented. If it's not a special circumstance, I don't have the ability of eating on that side. Qin Feng, open our eyes. Bring Ruoro over and bring some good food back so Xiao Zhang and I can see a glimmer of your brilliance. That's right. Qin Feng, you're so great. From night to day, you act like everything's so easy. I suspect that you must have started this company. Go to the high-class dining area and bring some food back, then we'll talk. Group Leader Zhang, don't you agree? Xiao Zhang gave Wang Chao a strong kiss on the ass. Wang Chao smiled and was unable to contain his glee. This morning, he lost his two faithful underlings Xiao Qiu and Xiao Ma. Thus, he was just about to renew his search for a dependable subordinate. This Xiao Zhang brought himself onto his doorstep. Compared to Xiao Qiu and Xiao Ma, Xiao Zhang had unparalleled ass-kissing abilities. His abilities made Wang Chao elated. Immensely satisfied, his gaze swept across his surroundings. He saw Xiao Qiu and Xiao Ma sitting not too far away. They were also weighing the current situation. Wang Chao gave them a look of disdain as if to say, "Did you see that? Even without you two, there are still people lining up to kiss your elder's ass." On the other hand, Xiao Qiu and Xiao Ma looked at Xiao Zhang with sympathy. They thought to themselves that in a couple of days, he'd also have to check into the hospital. Since Group Leader Wang and this ass-kissing addict are begging me so sincerely, I'd feel bad refusing. Ruoro, let's go. Let's eat in the high-class area. There are some houseflies that keep buzzing around by our ears. Just hearing it is annoying. Qin Feng stood with a smile and extended his hand towards Su Ruoro. Su Ruoro shyly lowered her head, held Qin Feng's hand, and walked away. While weighing the backs of the two walking toward the high-class dining area, Xiao Zhang clenched his teeth, internally cursed. You're the freaking ass-kisser. Your whole family is made up of ass-kissers. Qin Feng, are we really going to that side? We don't have high enough statuses. Su Ruoro said this with a bit of nervousness when she saw that they were about to enter the high-class dining area. Of course I know. I coincidentally saw Assistant Han sitting and eating, so we'll pretend to say hi to rile up Wang Chao. Qin Feng didn't stop. He held Su Ruoro's hand and swaggered into the high-class dining area. At this time, Han Ying sat eating in an elegant compartment. She was enclosed on two sides by wooden carvings. Countless men from all sides had their eyes glued to these partitions. They looked through it and peeked at Han Ying, who was inside. There was the sense of beauty one would feel while admiring flowers through fog. Her hands held the fork and knife lithely as she ate her steak meal. Her movements were elegant and graceful. She elegantly speared a small piece of steak, delivered it into her sexy red lips, slightly closed her lovely eyes, chewed slowly, and savored it with a charming expression. This kind of sexy and intellectual beauty became the talk of the higher class not long after entering the company. However, since she was usually icy and proud, and she was also Chairman Chen's assistant, these people only dared to peek at her secretly. No one had the guts to burst into her compartment and disturb her elegant eating. Thus, Chen Feng broke through this special barrier. With Su Ruoro in tow, he already smilingly walked into Han Yingying's compartment. "Assistant Han, your days are going really well." After entering the compartment, Chen Feng casually sat across from Han Yingying as if he had entered his own house. When Han Yingying heard footsteps enter her private room, a layer of frost appeared on her face. But, after hearing the person's voice, the frost fell and a lovely cordial expression graced her features. When she saw Su Ruoro standing cautiously at the door afraid to enter, she waved her over. Chapter 127. Chapter 127. I've been using my legs the whole time. Little sister Ruoro, don't be so shy. Sit next to big sister, you don't need to be so polite with me. Su Ruoro nodded and obediently sat beside Han Yingying. Young Master Chen's close attendant. I'm not as comfortable and at ease as you say. What do you two want to eat? I'll order it for you. After Su Ruoro sat down, Han Yingying casually looped her arm through Su Ruoro's. They looked to be as close as best friends that could talk about anything. Her charming eyes seemed to have the ability to speak. Her gaze fell on Chen Feng, and she looked at him with some coldness. No, Ruoro and I are the little workers at the bottom of the food chain. We can't enjoy Assistant Han's benefits. We just heard that the food on this side was really good, so we wanted to come over and take a look. Chen Feng smiled. Han Yingying glared at Chen Feng and suddenly couldn't help but laugh delicately. Chen Feng, you're even being peculiar with me? Be careful, or I might spill everything about you in front of little sister Ruoro. Chen Feng became agitated and grabbed Han Yingying's hands. He said with a smile of one trying to gain favor, Assistant Han, I was just joking, don't take it as the truth. After Chen Feng grabbed her hands so suddenly, Han Yingying looked like she was electrocuted. In private, though she always appeared very forward and even tried to seduce Chen Feng a couple of times, this was only for the sake of a business partnership. Besides, she knew that Chen Feng was on guard against her. Thus, though the two both lived in the Chen manor and seemed really close and loving, nothing actually happened between them. Even when their hands were merely joined like they were currently, Han Yingying's heart surged with a peculiar feeling. A slight blush tinted her fair and charming face. She promptly tugged her hands away and continued to look flirtatiously at Chen Feng. All right, I'm not going to chat idly with you anymore. I'll order a steak set meal for each of you. Han Yingying stood up to leave. Her elegant figure and movements made it so that wherever she went, the audience's gaze would follow. This scene stunned its audience right from the get-go. Whether it be the managers in the high-class area or the employees in the ordinary employee section, all of them had their mouths wide open as they stared dumbstruck at this scene. One of these girls was the pure jade beauty Su Ruoro of the ordinary employees, and the other was the fiery hot queen Han Yingying. One was of water, and one was fire. These people would be unable to contain their happiness if they could get even one of these two high-quality, extraordinarily beautiful women. However, they now saw a man from the ordinary employee section sitting and eating with both of these beauties at the same time. They even talked and laughed. The audience felt as though they were shot by 10,000 arrows. They could not comprehend what women looked for in a mate these days. Group Leader Wang. I am not seeing things, am I? That brat Chen Feng actually went over to eat in the upper management area. And who is that flaming hot beauty? Xiao Zhang asked in astonishment. He and Wang Chao were able to see Han Yingying's private room from where they were sitting. They could generally see the situation inside the room through the faintly discernible wooden carvings. Wang Chao's expression was even more stunned. Since Xiao Zhang's position in the company was too low, it was normal for him not to know Han Yingying. However, Wang Chao clearly knew that this Han Yingying had just arrived into the company and was extremely popular. She was reportedly Chairman Chen's newly hired assistant. Wang Chao's eyes were ablaze when he saw Chen Feng talking and smiling with the beauty of this status. That's impossible. How could that brat Chen Feng know Assistant Han? I think there's an 80% chance that his conduct of bursting into the high-class dining area affected Assistant Han's mealtime, so she's going to look for a security guard to deal with him. Let's wait to see a good show. In a bit, Qin Feng will be treated like a diseased dog and he'll be driven out of there. Once Wang Chao came up with this reasoning, his gloomy expression changed to a smile as he rejoiced in Qin Feng's misfortune. Right. That beauty was originally eating on her own, and that idiot Qin Feng went and disturbed her. She must have gone to look for the security guard. Haha, this idiot. He clearly has the life of a sales representative, but he insists on pretending to be someone of consequence. This time, he's going to lose face spectacularly. Let's see if Su Ruoro will still be with him after this. From what I see, in the whole royal group, only group leader Wang Chao has the ability to take Su Ruoro. As for the others, they can only stand to the side and wah. In truth, Xiaozhang also eyed Su Ruoro's beauty all along. His heart was restless, but he knew his place. At this time, he decisively gave up on this goddess and used her to kiss Wang Chao's ass. Wang Chao was so happy that his face bloomed. He began to like this Xiaozhang more and more. Xiaozhang, you seem quite good at talking. You definitely have the qualities of a salesperson. In the future, follow me and I guarantee that you won't be treated unfairly. Group leader Wang, don't worry. In the future, Xiaozhang will be at your beck and call. I pledge a life in your service, group leader Wang. Xiaozhang was so elated that he almost jumped up in happiness. Haha, you don't need to be at my beck and call. As long as you do your work well, it'll all be yours. Wang Chao said artificially. Xiaozhang was well aware that these words couldn't be said too freely. His gaze shifted and he saw Han Yingying walking back holding 2 large trays. He immediately called Wang Chao. Group leader Wang, hurry and look, that beauty came back. The show's about to begin. Wang Chao immediately gained vitality and looked in Qin Feng's direction. He saw that there was no security guard behind Han Yingying, and she carried 2 trays back into the private room. A bad premonition suddenly arose in his heart. Assistant Han, you're a person of such high status, and you're personally bringing food over to us. You're really shortening our lives. Qin Feng said this smilingly while looking at Han Yingying's fiery body under her work clothes. Han Yingying brought the trays in front of Qin Feng and Su Ruoro. She rolled her eyes at Qin Feng. Hurry and eat. Even good food can't stop your mouth. That depends on what kind of good food it is. If it's Assistant Han's fragrant lips, I'm sure it could definitely stop it. Qin Feng smiled. Han Yingying's lovely body shook, and her charming face immediately became scarlet. In the past, she was the one that used words and her body to seduce Qin Feng. Now that Qin Feng initiated the seducing, it felt completely different. It even made her heartbeat quicken. Su Ruoro was used to Qin Feng taking liberties with her, so her expression was beyond normal when she heard his words. However, she thought of how Han Yingying was Chairman Qin's assistant. If Qin Feng even came onto her, older sister Yingying would definitely bear a grudge towards him. Su Ruoro immediately explained for Qin Feng. Older sister Yingying, thank you for getting food for us. Qin Feng has a careless mouth, but he doesn't have a bad heart. Don't be mad. Han Yingying looked at Su Ruoro and Qin Feng with a strange expression. A complicated feeling arose in her heart. However, she smiled outwardly and said, Little sister Ruoro, no need to be polite. I didn't realize that you and Qin Feng became so close. You're beginning to seem like a little wife in that you're helping him talk. Su Ruoro's face became completely red. She shyly ate her steak and didn't know what to say. Qin Feng didn't touch the utensils on the dining table. He looked at the steak, juice, and fruit salad before him and thought about the communal food in the ordinary employee section. He suddenly stood. Qin Feng, what are you doing? Han Yingying immediately asked this once she saw Qin Feng's expression change. Breaking some traditions, Qin Feng looked back and smiled. He was already standing before a row of French windows. This row of French windows separated the ordinary employee section from the high-class section of the cafeteria. Qin Feng stood before the French windows and could see several hundred employees eating in the ordinary employee section. He could also be seen by the tens of managers and supervisors in the upper management section. His lips quirked into a relaxed smile. He suddenly lifted his leg and kicked through the French windows. Bang! An enormous sound made all of the people in the third-floor cafeteria jump in shock. One after another, they all looked over. A tall and slender man was crazily kicking and shattering the row of French windows. He looked thin and weak, but his explosive strength was very frightening. With each kick, a piece of glass from the French windows fell and shattered onto the ground. From behind, he suddenly appeared larger and taller. The gazes of the several hundred people in the ordinary employee section became heated. They stared attentively at Qin Feng's every move. Not long ago, this wall was the chasm in their hearts that separated them from the upper class. It was coldly erected as a constant reminder that they were all ordinary employees, that they had the lowest wages, that they did the hardest work. Must they eat from a tasteless communal rice pot? They were dissatisfied, deeply dissatisfied. However, they didn't dare suggest criticism because pretty much every large company had this kind of cafeteria that separated the classes. They knew to be satisfied that they were even able to work at Royal Group and that they could support their families. How could they risk losing their jobs to contemplate these kinds of unrealistic ideas? But now they saw someone who dared to stand out. This was an ordinary employee that did what they had always imagined. He was crazy, tyrannical, and reckless. Their previously suppressed emotions came bubbling forth. One by one, they produced earth-trembling rallying cries from the bottoms of their hearts. Bang, bang, bang. Qin Feng already kicked over the glass in the row of French windows on one side. Now, he ran over to the left side and commenced another bout of wild kicking. He was like a wild beast that had gone crazy. He was unrestrained and did what he wished. Since he thought this wall couldn't exist, it didn't. Hey, what are you doing? Hurry and stop right now. Suddenly, a voice reprimanded behind Qin Feng, a large, tall, and handsome young man that exuded an air of success walked over. This was a new addition to Royal Group's finance department, Lin Shuai. He was a student that had just returned from studying abroad in Australia. Not long after joining the company, he went from being a little assistant financial analyst to the position of a gold medal financial analyst. Because he was only 25, young, handsome, and rich, he was the resident celebrity that all of the single females in Royal Group chased after and crushed on. Lin Shuai's sudden appearance didn't stop Qin Feng. Qin Feng was still happily sending out flying kicks. This simple and base disregard immediately froze Lin Shuai's face. He neared Qin Feng and bellowed deeply. "I told you to stop. Are you trying to start a revolt?" Qin Feng continued to kick down the remaining glass wall. He said innocently, "Are you blind? I didn't move my arms. I was using my legs the whole time." Chapter 128. Chapter 128. I like calling you Cricket. Lin Shuai's mouth tweaked. He felt like he was shot through the heart by an arrow. Though he was brimming with talent, since he had only been at Royal Group for less than 2 months, he was still considered new. Originally, even if he saw these kinds of things, he wouldn't care. It clearly wasn't Lin Shuai's style to meddle in other people's business. But he saw Han Ying, the goddess that the entire upper management of Royal Group crushed on and debated about. Lin Shuai was not an exception. After all, he saw himself as the person with the most strength and capability to win over Han Ying. He took the initiative to run over and stop Qin Feng because he wanted to show off in front of her. "Then stop your feet," Lin Shuai bellowed coldly. Qin Feng stopped. He looked at Lin Shuai with mirth. "Friend, are you thinking that I must be tired from all this kicking and you want to help me? Then I'll trouble you to kick down these last 3 pieces of the glass wall." "You're crazy. I'm here to stop you. There's no way I'd help you do such an idiotic thing. Which department are you in? I'm going to take down your information and report this to upper management. Your vile behavior is affecting the way all of the employees in Royal Group work," Lin Shuai said haughtily as he looked at Qin Feng with disdain. "Haha, Manager Lin, how do you do?" Before Qin Feng could speak, Wang Chao suddenly ran over and greeted him with a smile. He shook Lin Shuai's hand firmly and shook it with the enthusiasm he would put into shaking his own father's hand. "I'm the group leader of Royal Group Sales Department, Wang Chao. I'm really sorry, this is my subordinate Qin Feng. He's a normal sales representative in the sales department. As his group leader, I didn't teach him properly and let him cause trouble. I approve of Manager Lin's punishment suggestion from earlier. Even if he is my subordinate, if he did something wrong, I absolutely cannot shield him. I have to handle him impartially and punish him severely. That's right, that's right. Someone like Qin Feng makes our entire sales department lose face. We have to punish him severely, Xiao Zhang echoed Wang Chao. With a bit of effort, Qin Feng was surrounded by people. The crowd was split in two, the ordinary dining area group and the high-class dining area group. The two groups each had their own skills. Now that they were all together, their gazes were covetous. One side loudly criticized Qin Feng's vileness and behavior while the other side said nothing and only dared to use unhappy expressions to scare the other side. It was clear that they were unable to scare them. So it's an ordinary sales representative of the sales department. I was thinking that no one in our high-class area would have this kind of unruly behavior. It was clearly the work of a heckler. I'll make sure to realistically report this kind of person to upper management and have him fired directly. After discovering his identity, Lin Shuai became more confident. He acted like he was too lazy to give Qin Feng another glance. It wouldn't even be enough to fire him for such vile behavior. Wang Chao also nodded angrily. That's right, fire him, fire him. Xiao Zhang kept kissing Lin Shuai and Wang Chao's asses. He was extremely happy. If Royal Group presented a quarterly ass-kissing award, it would undoubtedly be his. This situation became increasingly dangerous, and the crowd of spectators grew increasingly as well. At this time, Liu Chen rushed over anxiously as if there was a fire. Originally, she hadn't paid attention to what was happening here. She only rushed over when a subordinate from the sales department told her Qin Feng was causing trouble. Qin Feng was in the sales department, and Liu Chen was the general manager of it. Since she managed all of the people in the department, and there was now someone from the sales department causing trouble, she held a large portion of the responsibility. While rushing over, Liu Chen thought of over 100 ways Qin Feng could be causing trouble. Maybe there was a cockroach in his food, and he started an argument with the cafeteria staff? Maybe he was picking up girls during lunch, and she ignored him, so they started up a fuss? Or maybe Qin Feng didn't pay for his food and got into a tussle with the security guard. Once Liu Chen saw the messy scene and broken glass all over the ground, she realized she underestimated Qin Feng's ability to cause trouble. Qin Feng, what are you doing? Liu Chen ran to Qin Feng's side with an icy expression. She was extremely angry and began to bellow at him. For the sake of her mother's wishes of marrying her into the Qin family, it wasn't easy for her to squeeze into Royal Group, the company of 500 strong. However, she still hadn't formed a relationship with young Master Qin. Now, Qin Feng went around smashing things in the cafeteria. This matter could be big or small. If it got big, she could forget about keeping her position as general manager of the sales department. She could just pack up and leave. If this really had to happen, Liu Chen would definitely chew Qin Feng's head off. General Manager Li, perfect timing. I did a great thing for our company. In a bit, upper management should be here. Just stand here and don't leave. I'll split the credit with you. In this precarious scene, Qin Feng's words stunned the entire audience. Wang Chao, Lin Shuai, and Xiao Zhang laughed so hard that tears came out of their eyes. Those several hundred ordinary employees were moved to tears by Qin Feng's indomitable energy. Clack, clack, clack. The crisp rhythm of high heels drifted over. Each step seemed to trample on its audience's little hearts. The heartbeats of the males increased, and their gazes followed this pair of high heels. What they saw was black stockings, slender, smooth and round calves, perky and impressive buttocks, a full willowy waist, a swelling and full chest, a white and beautiful jade neck, and charming and beautiful features. No matter what position they held, the spectators couldn't take their eyes off her. Everywhere, everyone's blood heated. Han Ying walked unhurriedly into the crowd. She passed Lin Shuai and Wang Chao, walked past Liu Chen, and lastly stood beside Qin Feng. Qin Feng, tell everyone why you did this. Han Ying's elegant and slightly cold voice passed through the cafeteria. It didn't seem like she was talking to Qin Feng. It seemed as though she addressed all of the people in the cafeteria. She looked around and smiled charmingly. All of the people were drunk on the sight. They forgot about Qin Feng angrily smashing the French windows. Instead, all of them were daydreaming about whether or not they would defy expectation and be fancied by Han Ying. Assistant Han is right. You have to give everyone an explanation. Lin Shuai was enchanted by Han Ying as well, but he used all of his might to check himself. He immediately catered to Han Ying's words and sternly commanded Qin Feng. He clearly misunderstood Han Ying's words. By talking to Qin Feng so maliciously and arrogantly, he already offended the two beauties at the scene. Han Ying and Su Ruoro both eyed him with dissatisfaction. That cricket, right? Qin Feng looked at Lin Shuai and asked earnestly. It's Lin Shuai. Lin Shuai cut him off furiously. I know, but I like calling you cricket. Lin Shuai's mouth gave a violent chui. He felt as though his heart was ruthlessly hammered. He asked with a gloomy expression, Why were you calling me? Go pour me a cup of water. I'm thirsty from smashing so many glass walls. Qin Feng spoke like he was addressing a subordinate. The audience was stunned. Chapter 129. Chapter 129. Give him the additional wages. As the gold medal financial analyst of the finance department, being commanded to pour water for a little sales rep made Lin Shuai so angry he wanted to kill someone. He said unhappily, Why do I have to pour water for you? I think you should explain your vile behavior first. I was just about to explain, so that's why I told you to pour water. I'm thirsty. I have to finish drinking the water before I can speak. Hurry and go. Huh. Why are you still not going? Didn't you say Assistant Han was right, and I need to give everyone an explanation? Now that I want to explain, you're not letting me. You clearly mean to oppose Assistant Han. Cricket, do you hate Assistant Han? Are you trying to intentionally go against her? Lin Shuai jumped in shock. He hurriedly looked at Han Ying and explained, Assistant Han, don't listen to this brat's nonsense. I don't have anything against you. I admire you, whether it be your beauty or your outstanding ability. Lin Shuai lived up to his name as a genius player. No wonder he was able to climb from the position of a little assistant financial analyst to the position of a gold medal financial analyst after only being in Royal Group for less than 2 months. The effort he placed in his explanation was incidentally enough to be in surreptitious confession. Once these words came out, Han Ying sighed deeply and retracted her charming smile. Her expression fell. Manager Lin, hurry and go pour the water. Lin Shuai looked like he was dizzy from being struck in the head. He would have never thought that Han Ying would agree to Qin Feng's shameless and disrespectful request. However, reality was that Han Ying had spoken. She told him to pour water for this sales representative Qin Feng. Though he was reluctant, Lin Shuai ended up gritting his teeth and getting the water for Qin Feng under the countless gazes of the audience. Qin Feng took the water and immediately splashed it onto the ground. Wow! It took half a day of fussing around to pour water. Now I'm no longer thirsty. Qin Feng, Qin Feng, give everyone an explanation now. Han Ying requested again. Once she spoke, the noisy cafeteria immediately fell quiet. Of course I'll give everyone a statement. But this is not an explanation, it's a critique. Qin Feng stood in the crowd with seriousness. He stood perfectly straight like a javelin, and his voice was loud and clear. In this restless and robust society, we were all able to become members of Royal Group and co-workers that work hard together. This is something to be elated about. This is a warm and secure family. It's one where we can all develop our own places to shine. Here, we splash down every drop of the sweat of our youth and withstand hard work and criticism. We're all the lowest-leveled ordinary employees that do the hardest work. We must withstand the most abuse and questioning, and we get the lowest wages. But we haven't given up. We're all doing our best to fight on. However, even when we're eating lunch, the cafeteria has to be split by ranks and grades. Hungry ordinary employees like us who were busy all morning are given unappetizing food from a communal rice pot, while these higher-level people who played games and only took 2 calls in the morning aren't hungry but eat a more nutritious and luxurious meal. My behavior at first was crazy indeed, but my thoughts are simple. I need to tear down this separated relationship, this wall that has divided our trusting and loving family. When we eat and rest, We should throw away status and all be good friends. We should not separated by status. Instead, we should happily eat and talk together. Now, there are only 3 glass walls left. Those that agree with me can come over and kick them down. When Qin Feng's words fell, these people were all in shock. The audience from the ordinary employee area's hearts surged and their blood boiled. On the other hand, the audience in the high-class area's hearts frosted over and their expressions turned cold. Ha ha ha, are you staging a peasant revolt? You're crazy. You can't break through to the ordinary and high-class sections. The high-class section isn't only for us managers to eat in. When guests come to the company, we also have to receive them there. Otherwise, you let these important customers eat with you ordinary employees? Royal Group can't afford to lose these people. That's enough. Separating the cafeteria was Chairman Qin's idea. It's too laughable for a mere sales representative to want to be a leader. Haha. Lin Shuai was the first to step up to oppose Qin Feng. He began to laugh without restraint. Then, Wang Chao laughed, Xiao Zhang laughed, and over 10 managers and supervisors in the high-class area began to laugh. This wall formed a castle that indicated status. It blocked off the ordinary employees and kept them outside to revere them and yearn to be in their position. Who wouldn't want to experience that lofty feeling? Haha, Han Ying laughed as well. It wasn't a laugh in ridicule, but a charming laugh that she directed at Qin Feng. Then, her strong and icy voice rang out. You all think it's funny, do you? I actually think that what Qin Feng said was quite sensible. I'll make sure to relay it to Chairman Qin. The laughs came to an abrupt stop. The upper-leveled employees stared flabbergasted at Han Ying. As Chairman Qin's assistant, she had a position of significance. These people didn't dare to offend her. Right, Assistant Han is right. Qin Feng's idea expresses the sentiments of the countless low-leveled employees in the company. We should value it. The second person to stand in Qin Feng's procession was Wang Jun. After expressing his sentiments, he looked at Qin Feng in another attempt to curry favor with him. Lin Shuai had originally come here to give Han Ying a good impression of him and to get in her good graces. Now, he was slapped ruthlessly in the face. He was so angry that his neck turned red. He wanted to stand up and protest to salvage some face when a deep and robust sound arose in the cafeteria. All of the gazes instantly flitted over to look. Once they were able to clearly see who it was, their jaws fell to the ground in shock. Clap, clap. Qin Huang, accompanied by 2 directors, walked over while clapping his hands. This lad's suggestion is quite profound and remarkable. Why don't we all give him a round of applause? After an extended silence, an earth-shattering applause rumbled through the cafeteria. Now that Chairman Qin stood out and expressed his opinion, whether it be the employees in the ordinary employee section or the high-class section, everyone pasted a smile on their face and cheered and applauded with all their might. Cricket, Wang Chao, Ass-Kisser. You 3 opposed my suggestion earlier. Why are you clapping? A man of character should stand by his words. He shouldn't succumb to the pressure of the powerful. Qin Feng smiled while he said this to the 3. The 3 of them had their hearts pierced with arrows. It hurt so much they couldn't speak. Qin Feng, you're too amazing. I'm happy for you. Su Ruoro pranced excitedly to Qin Feng's side. She felt the same way about this issue of dividing the cafeteria, but didn't have the guts to express her sentiments. Just as not all milk is milk deluxe, not all people can become hedonists. Okay, everyone quiet down. Qin Huang waved his hands and indicated for everyone to be quiet. The atmosphere that was as bustling as the Chinese New Year special instantly quieted. Qin Huang's smile swept over every person. He said steadily, I think this young lad's suggestion is very good, and your strong reaction shows that you also agree. Then, beginning from today, the employee cafeteria will no longer be partitioned. Everyone will eat the same food and enjoy the same lunch benefits. After hearing Qin Huang's decision, the normal employees felt as though they were dreaming. This feeling of bliss arrived too quickly. When they thought about the wonderful food in the high-class area such as the steak banquet and French cuisine, they immediately began to drool. Their gazes simultaneously fell on Qin Feng. He brought on all of this. In their eyes, Qin Feng was this lofty. He was like light. Wherever he was, brightness and pleasure followed. Then, Qin Huang said a couple more sentences and let everyone eat. He went beside Qin Feng and glared at him while no one was paying attention. Stinking brat, was there a need to cause such a ruckus when all we had to do was get rid of the dividers separating the sections in the cafeteria? You could have just called me, and we'd be done with it. Chairman Qin, as a little sales representative in the company, how would I know your phone number? Even if I called, you would ignore me, Qin Feng said casually. Qin Huang's expression darkened. He was about to get angry, but, after thinking for a bit, what Qin Feng said made a lot of sense. You did pretty well this time. Keep up the good work. In the end, Qin Huang said a couple of sentences in praise. When he heard Qin Feng's passionate speech earlier, a large wave also swelled through his heart. He felt comforted as he weighed his son standing among the lower-leveled employees and thinking on their behalf. A good leader and a successful company must begin looking at the interests of its lowest-leveled employees. They must try their best to share the company's warm attitude with them so the company could be long-lived. You all eat. I'll be leaving first. Chairman Qin's gaze briefly met with Han Ying and Su Ruo's, and he prepared to leave. Chairman Qin, I've done such a great thing. Aren't you going to reward me? Qin Feng asked. Qin Huang stopped in his tracks. He looked at Qin Feng, was quiet for a brief instant, and said to the property director, Director Huang, this youth kicked down 9 glass walls. According to the price of tearing down walls, calculate the pay and add it to his current month's salary. Qin Feng's mouth quirked as he weighed Qin Huang's receding back. Han Ying and Su Ruo stood on each side of Qin Feng. At this time, they tilted their faces and tried hard to pretend nothing was wrong, but one could tell from their shaking delicate bodies that they were laughing really hard. Qin Feng eyed the two women and walked directly up beside Wang Chao. Group leader Wang, it seems that I won't be able to bring food over from the high-class dining area for you to try, because there's now no such thing as the high-class dining area. Humph, a lowly person intoxicated by success. Wang Chao left with a dark expression. Xiao Zhang glared at Qin Feng and immediately followed. Don't be happy too early. I'll teach you a lesson in the future. Ass kisser. Walk properly. Qin Feng looked at the two leaving backs and waved his hand. When Xiao Zhang heard ass kisser, he stumbled and almost fell to the ground. Chapter 130. Chapter 130. You shower first? I'll be there right away. The whole afternoon, everyone ranging from the executives and senior management to the ordinary employees discussed Qin Feng. After discovering that he was just a minor sales representative from the sales department without any background or influence, they had varying opinions of his conduct during lunch. During this afternoon, Qin Feng became a well-known celebrity in Royal Group. As the main character of this incident, Qin Feng did not care at all. At this time, he got off work and told Su Ruo crude jokes while weighing her shy, blushing face and walking towards the exit. After exiting the building, Qin Feng's cell phone suddenly rang. He pulled it out and looked to see that it was teacher Yun Zhao's number. Qin Feng's expression changed. He said solemnly, How do you do, teacher Yun Xiao? The Yun Xiao on the phone sounded a bit urgent. Qin Feng, where are you? Can you come over to my neighborhood? Qin Feng's heart rippled. He promptly said, Okay, teacher Yun Xiao, go shower first and I'll be there right away. Yun Zhao's face darkened when she heard the two beeps pass through the phone. She thought to herself that Qin Feng still hadn't changed. Ruo, I have to see an old friend. Wait here for Ying and follow her and Chairman Qin home, Qin Feng said to Su Ruo after hanging up. That's not a good idea. I can just go home on my own. Su Ruo was clearly a bit nervous. It was too much pressure to take Chairman Qin's car back. Don't dilly-dally, just do as I say. Otherwise, if you get abducted, I'm not going to rescue you. Qin Feng gave Su Ruo's face a pinch. Su Ruo shuddered as she thought about the last time she was abducted. She was just buying her daily necessities when she was abducted by Wei Xiaolei. She nodded vigorously. Okay, then I'll wait for older sister Ying. No, assistant Han and the rest. With this, Qin Feng finally felt reassured. Last time he raced with Wei Xiaolei, he went to the district Yun Xiao lived in. At this time, he rode his 28 bicycle and flew across the road. He wondered if teacher Yun Xiao finished showering. Su Ruoro was really obedient. She waited at the entrance to the company and weighed Qin Feng's slowly receding back. Not long later, Han Ying and Qin Huang came out together. Su Ruoro walked up to them and explained the plan. Han Ying linked her arm with Su Ruoro's, and they stepped into the bins together. Liu Chun caught this scene. Her lovely eyes flashed with shock. Why would Su Ruoro leave in Assistant Han and Chairman Qin's car? This afternoon, she once again received a call from her mother pushing her to get married. She wasn't young anymore, so she decided that from today onwards, she would wander around the Qin Manor every day after work. She didn't believe she wouldn't be able to bump into young Master Qin. Liu Chun believed that if she could bump into young Master Qin, she would be able to form a relationship with him if she relied on her beauty and was a bit more forward. With this mindset, Liu Chun ran out of the office after work and saw such a shocking scene. Suddenly, a possible scenario flashed through her mind. Could it be that Su Ruoro and Qin Huang knew one another? Then she'd definitely know young Master Qin. If this was the case, it would be better if she tested the waters when Su Ruoro came to work tomorrow. Liu Chun couldn't help but sigh. So Royal Group really was concealing identities. Based on their appearances, Qin Feng and Su Ruoro looked like ordinary sales representatives. However, one knew the assistant manager of the administrative department, and the other directly got into Chairman Qin's car. Not 20 minutes later, Qin Feng arrived in Teacher Yun Xiao's little district. Teacher Yun Xiao, which building and unit do you live in? I'm already here. That fast? I am in 1102 in Building 3. Come up. Yun Xiao was a bit shocked. She wondered if Qin Feng just so happened to be in the area. This was the first time she let a male in her home. For some strange reason, her heartbeat quickened after she stated her address. After receiving the address, Qin Feng immediately ran up. When he arrived at 1102, the front door was already open. Yun Xiao stood at the doorway waiting for Qin Feng. Qin Feng, did you run up the stairs? Yeah, the elevator's too slow. I was thinking that teacher Yun Xiao just finished showering and was worried that you'd be anxiously waiting, so I sped all the way over. Huh, teacher Yun Xiao, you haven't showered yet? Qin Feng was a bit disappointed to see Yun Xiao wearing the black uniform and stockings she wore to work. Yun Xiao knew Qin Feng's personality too well. She glared at him with feigned anger. Qin Feng, I'm your teacher. Be proper and don't give me any crooked thoughts. All right, hurry and come in. Qin Feng followed Yun Xiao into the room while admiring the perky behind that was wrapped in the short black skirt. Yun Xiao rented a one-bathroom, two-bedroom, and two-living-room apartment with all of the necessary electrical appliances. She lived on her own, and it was just right. It had a bit of a cozy feel to it. Since it was her first time bringing a man into her house, she felt a bit awkward. When they arrived in the living room, she allowed Qin Feng to sit on the sofa. The two sat on the sofa side by side. Yun Xiao's heart tingled. She scooted a bit further from Qin Feng. Right when she settled into her new position, Qin Feng slid right next to her. She scooted again, and Qin Feng followed. Qin Feng, don't sit so close to me, it's kind of warm, Yun Xiao said bashfully. Her face flushed slightly. Haha, teacher Yun Xiao's body is too fragrant. I can't help but want to get close and smell it. Qin Feng looked at Yun Xiao with a smile. This time, he didn't scoot closer to her again. His expression shifted sharply and he said with seriousness, Teacher Yun Xiao, why were you looking for me at this time? Qin Feng knew that Yun Xiao wouldn't take the initiative contact him for no reason. Something must have happened. Qin Feng changed too abruptly, so Yun Xiao was not really able to adjust in time. She calmed herself and then said with seriousness, Qin Feng, why haven't you been going to school lately? Something happened at home that interfered with my studies. I should have found some time to tell teacher Yun Xiao this personally, but I was busy all the way until now. I'm really sorry, Qin Feng said. Yun Xiao shook her head and smiled. Since something happened at home, then I can't blame you. I trust that your father should have notified the school. But at your age, your primary job is still to study. If your family matter wraps up, it would still be best to go to school. Yun Xiao resumed her role Qin Feng's teacher and taught him closely. She knew that with Qin Feng's family background, he did not care about attending school. After this hedonistic young master was done living a carefree youth, he would directly succeed the family business and continue to squander the youths of others. When she thought about the possibility of Qin Feng never coming to class anymore, Yun Xiao felt an unnamed sense of disappointment surge through her heart. Teacher Yun Xiao, don't be too sad. Once there's time, I will go to school and pay a visit. I know that without me there, you probably miss me a lot. Actually, when Teacher Yun Xiao misses me, you can do what you did this time and call me over to your house to sit. Of course, I'm usually only free at night, so it would be better for Teacher Yun Xiao to invite me at night. Chapter 131. Chapter 131. None of you understand me. When she saw Qin Feng's perverted smile, Yun Zhao's expression fell. She glared at him. Qin Feng, I called you here for another reason as well. Qin Feng immediately became serious. He knew that this next matter was probably the important thing Yun Xiao called him over about. Go ahead. Qin Feng, ever since I was kidnapped, why you killed people to save me. So I became afraid to interact with other people, Yun Xiao said earnestly. Qin Feng suddenly thought about the system's quest to rid Yun Xiao of her fear and social anxiety. And since then, every time I see blood or any sort of red liquid, I become extremely nervous and afraid. When I see people arguing or fighting in the streets, I become so afraid that I lose all of the strength in my body. Recently, I don't even talk to coworkers at school. Whether it's a man or a woman, I feel this constant sense of vigilance and resistance. Every day I just go to class, leave class, and go home. I don't talk to anyone. I live a life of constant repetition. Qin Feng, I think that if this goes on, I'll retreat from society and lose my mind. When she talked about this, she became agitated. She was nothing like the dignified and calm teacher at the lectern. She seemed like a little lion venting its grievances. Qin Feng looked at Yun Xiao with a gentle expression. He empathized with her current mood. Almost a month passed since the time he rescued her. In that month, she didn't talk to anyone. Every day, she lived a lonely life. She wanted to change her current situation but was powerless to do so. Too many depressed thoughts were pent up in her heart. Qin Feng leaned slightly and wrapped Yun Xiao tightly in his embrace. He pressed his chin to Yun Zhao's beautiful hair and inhaled her faint unique fragrance while lightly patting her back. Teacher Yun Xiao, cry out loud. Let it all out. That way, you'll feel better. Yun Xiao really needed to vent. She already forgot her identity and forgot Qin Feng's as well. She obediently sprawled in Qin Feng's warm embrace and cried like a little girl. She wailed and freely released the pressure in her heart. She felt that her burden slowly lightened and her mood slowly stabilized. When she became completely tranquil, the crying noises also stopped. Then, she suddenly came to her senses. She extricated herself from Qin Feng's embrace as if she were electrocuted. She looked stupidly at Qin Feng. What did we do at first? We hugged, Qin Feng said truthfully. And Yun Xiao felt a gust of anxiety. She was Qin Feng's teacher, yet she hugged him. And when teacher Yun Xiao cries, your chest shakes incredibly. 10 minutes later, Yun Xiao came out of the restroom. She calmed down completely. Her body was once again cold and dignified as usual. If her eyes weren't still slightly puffy, Qin Feng would have thought that his hug with Yun Xiao earlier was merely a figment of his imagination. Qin Feng, I'm a bit tired. You head back first. Though she seemed to have resumed to a sense of tranquility, when she thought about how she hugged Qin Feng and cried so noisily in front of him, she felt embarrassed to face him. Qin Feng stood but didn't leave. Instead, he walked up to Yun Xiao. Teacher Yun Xiao, there's no need for shyness between us. After all, your current predicament was of my creation. I handled those people too violently, and that left a mark on you. Qin Feng suddenly put on a profound and lofty expression. Actually, I learned psychology with an expert when I was abroad. Your current symptoms are those of social trauma. This is a psychological ailment and the harm varies. If the shadow in your heart isn't eliminated, then you might end up completely closing yourself in. Then, you won't interact with anyone anymore, and you'll become a serious victim of social trauma. Qin Feng's words were well presented, but Yun Xiao still eyed him suspiciously. Did you really learn psychology? Qin Feng nodded earnestly. Then according to my current situation, what stage am I in? Yun Xiao asked anxiously. Since teacher Yun Xiao contracted the psychological ailment for less than a month, you're currently in the beginning stage where you close yourself off. You just need to go through continuous psychological treatment. It's still considerably simple to return to normal. Then, you have a way to treat me? Yun Xiao now entrusted herself to Qin Feng. She had no other choice because she realized that she began to hate and reject interacting and speaking with others. But she didn't have those kinds of feelings with Qin Feng. Or maybe her conflicted feelings were really weak and could be disregarded. Of course I do, Qin Feng said resolutely. What method is this? Massage therapy. Yun Zhao's expression fell. Once she heard the name of the method, she felt that it was not dependable. What kind of massage would cure a psychological ailment? She looked at Qin Feng coldly. Qin Feng, you're trying to mess with your teacher again, aren't you? Qin Feng's expression was serious the whole time. He shook his head and said, Teacher Yun Xiao, you've misunderstood me. This massage therapy was carefully studied. First of all, once you undergo qi flow massage, it'll scatter the knotted depressed energy and allow your internal qi to flow properly. Secondly, when massaging, I'll come into close contact with you. I'll agitate you and let you slowly acclimate to interacting with others. Lastly, you'll achieve a stage where you won't reject interaction or contact with anyone. When she heard that close contact was required, Yun Zhao's heartbeat immediately increased. Once again, she felt suspicious of Qin Feng's intentions. But when she saw how serious and dignified her looked, it didn't seem like he was lying. At that instant, Yun Xiao didn't know what was best to do. Teacher Yun Xiao, I know you don't trust me. I know no one trusts me. You all listen to rumors and believe that I'm an accomplished hedonistic rich young master. You don't have heart-to-hearts with me. You constantly put up your guard against me, and you lump me in with the beasts and perverts. Qin Feng gave a long sigh. Forget it. Who told me to be born to a rich family? I deserve it. I have such a hard life. When I was young, I was brimming with talent and so handsome I had no friends. Those that interacted with me either took a fancy to my family's business or our reputation. I was treated as an object and was used time and time again. As a result, I even acquired these bad names. I originally thought that teacher Yun Xiao was different from those base people and would know and understand me. I thought you could treat me earnestly and wouldn't put up your guard against me like you'd guard yourself from a thief. All right, since this is the case, then I'll leave first. No matter what, I sincerely wish that you get well soon, teacher Yun Xiao. Qin Feng's head drooped, and he showed Yun Xiao the view of his extremely sad and dejected back. His steps were small, and it seemed like it took a lifetime to walk a distance less than 10 meters. He wanted to give Yun Xiao time to urge him to stay. Qin Feng. When Qin Feng already got to the door, Yun Zhao's soft voice suddenly drifted over. Can you stay and help treat me? Qin Feng's back faced Yun Xiao so she didn't see the evil smile of someone who got away with his plan that graced Qin Feng's face. Qin Feng turned and resumed an expression of loneliness. He looked at Yun Xiao. Teacher Yun Xiao, you don't have to force yourself because you pity me. I think it'd be better if I went home. Qin Feng, don't leave. Yun Xiao suddenly rushed forward and hugged Qin Feng from behind. Teacher was wrong at first. You were kind enough to offer me therapy, and I put up my guard against you. It's nothing more than close contact, nothing more than a massage. We even hugged already, so what's there to be afraid of? I'll stop talking. You're the doctor and I'm the patient. In the doctor's eyes, there's no such thing as gender. I hope that we could also toss away these worldly concepts and our identities. What do you say? Qin Feng suddenly turned and pulled Yun Xiao tightly into his embrace. He concentrated on feeling the softness and bounciness of her chest and nodded vigorously. Teacher Yun Xiao, you're right. In Yun Zhao's fragrant bedroom, she already changed into a purple silk nightgown and lay on the bed. Qin Feng sat on her back and admired the jade back she exposed. Qin Feng, can we start now? Yun Xiao couldn't help but ask this after Qin Feng sat on her completely motionless for 5 minutes. Ahem. Teach Yun Xiao, I have to give you a qi-conducting massage, so I'm in the middle of gathering the qi in my body. Don't be anxious, Qin Feng said awkwardly. Okay, then concentrate on what you need to. I'm in no hurry. Qin Feng retracted his appreciative gaze. All in all, he still had a quest to achieve and really did need to help cure Yunzhao's social trauma. He wasn't completely talking nonsense when he mentioned the qi-conducting massage earlier. These things were in medical records. Since he was the son of a prominent family, Qin Feng was forced by Qin Huang to memorize Tang and Song poems since he was young. He read the Yellow Emperor's internal canon, so he had an impression of how to cure certain ailments. He squinted and felt the qi flow from his dantian. As a level 1 internal expert, it was not difficult to draw out his qi. His palms fell lightly onto Yun Zhao's jade back. Her body tensed, and a peculiar sensation passed through it. Gusts of cold qi flow suddenly entered her body and flowed through her vital energy passage. It felt like little earthworms were crawling on her body. Her whole body felt limp and numb, and she also felt a bit comfortable. This feeling was too strange. Yun Zhao's delicate body began to twist uncontrollably. Qin Feng, are you done? I just started. Yun Zhao struggled. I can't take it anymore. I still can't accept such close contact with you. Hurry and get off me. Yun Zhao started to become agitated. Her social trauma began to break out. She wouldn't be able to stand it even if a normal person stayed in the same room as her. Yun Zhao already reached her limit in allowing Qin Feng to sit on her and give her a qi-conducting massage. Teacher Yun Zhao, I can't come down. You must rid yourself of those feelings of fear and resistance, Qin Feng said insistently. Yun Zhao began to twist more wildly. She already began to smack Qin Feng with a book sitting at the head of her bed. She seemed to have lost her senses. Her eyes were red and her hair was askew. Fuck off. Hurry and get away. Chapter 132. Chapter 132. Who the hell has those kind of guts? Qin Feng grabbed onto Yun Zhao's arms and persevered. He was prepared to pass this rut with perseverance. Maybe it might help rid Yun Zhao of her social trauma once and for all. Qin Feng anchored her arms and legs. Yun Zhao struggled with all her might but couldn't escape. At this time, she began to scream. She suddenly lost all the strength in her body and extended her neck to slam her head into the corner of her bedside cabinet. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to die. Qin Feng had sharp eyes and lithe hands. He immediately grasped Yun Zhao's willowy waist and pulled her back. When he saw Yun Zhao fall into hysterics, Qin Feng did not dare to continue. If this went on, he was afraid he'd forced her into insanity before curing her of her social anxiety. Teacher Yun Zhao, don't be afraid. I'm Qin Feng. I'm getting down. I'm not touching you anymore. Teacher Yun Zhao, wake up. Qin Feng crawled off Yun Zhao's body, cupped her face, and shook it. Yun Zhao slowly calmed down and stopped yelling. After another couple of minutes, the red veins in her eyes slowly receded, and the coldness that shot out of her body retracted. Then, she fell limply onto the bed and stared at the ceiling in a daze. Qin Feng, what happened to me at first? Yun Zhao suddenly asked after a while. Nothing much. Teacher Yun Zhao was extremely cooperative for the therapy. Now the therapy is over, so rest well, Teacher Yun Zhao, Qin Feng said with a smile. Yun Zhao nodded. She knew for certain that she lost her senses earlier, but good thing an incident didn't occur. She weighed Qin Feng's receding back and suddenly thought of something. Qin Feng, do you know where Lin Bei Bei went? Qin Feng halted in his steps. He turned and asked while standing at the door, what happened to Lin Bei Bei? She hasn't come to school for the past 2 days. Do you know where she is? Qin Feng's eyebrows immediately furrowed. Teacher Yun Zhao, when did she stop going to school? Qin Feng and Yun Zhao both knew that Lin Bei Bei was a good, studious student. She never cut class for no reason, much less missed class for a couple of days. Yun Zhao thought about it, then said, 3 days ago. Qin Feng did an internal calculation and realized that Lin Bei Bei didn't go to school starting from the day after he went shopping with her. Qin Feng, there's something that I don't know whether or not I should tell you about. Yun Zhao's long, shapely eyebrows furrowed slightly. She thought about the time she saved Lin Bei Bei by the sports field. She hesitated and didn't know whether or not she wanted to mention it. Teacher Yun Xiao, if there's something to say, then say it. Qin Feng became serious and felt a bad premonition. For days ago, I saw Lin Beibei get pulled into the little forest while I was on the sports field. She was almost molested by that person. Yun Xiao ended up mentioning it. Good thing I got there in time and saved her. Who was it? Who the hell had those kinds of guts? Qin Feng suddenly growled. His eyes turned red and he looked like a vicious wild beast. Yun Xiao jumped in shock. She shook her head. I don't know. When I got there, that person already ran away. I asked Lin Beibei after, but she refused to say who it was. Qin Feng fell quiet. His brain whirred as he calculated the timing. No wonder Lin Beibei suddenly called and asked him to find her at the royal clubhouse. No wonder she was a bit different than before and was extremely dependent on him. No wonder her face was a bit red and swollen. She even found an excuse and said she was allergic to a makeup product. She didn't even need to put on makeup. That must have been because she was hit when she resisted. Qin Feng cracked his knuckles, turned around sharply, and disappeared through the room door. Before Yun Xiao came to, Qin Feng was gone. She hurriedly shouted, Qin Feng, if you find Lin Beibei, call me and let me know she's okay. Acropolis City's first hospital, intensive care ward room. Lin Beibei sat at her mother's bedside. She peeled an apple with an empty expression. Ah! She suddenly yelped in pain. She furrowed her attractive, long and shapely eyebrows and lowered her head to suck on her cut finger. Beibei, are you all right? Why were you so careless? Hurry and let your mom see. Mother Lin's heart ached. After all, her daughter cut her finger because she was peeling an apple for her. Mom, I'm fine. Lie down and rest. Lin Beibei found a bandage in the room and stuck it on her wound. Mom, have some apples. Mother Lin took the apples, but how could she possibly have an appetite? Her daughter stayed with her in the hospital room for a full 3 days. She didn't even go to school. During these 3 days, she looked like she lost her soul. She sat by the window and spaced out every day. There were a couple of times when Mother Lin called her, but she didn't hear. Beibei, is there something you'd like to tell your mother? Mother Lin pulled Lin Beibei to her bedside and lightly stroked her head. Lin Beibei suddenly threw herself into her mother's embrace and burst into tears. She held it in for 3 days. There was no one to spill her heart out to, and she didn't dare bring these matters up with her mother. She already took the initiative to move out of the royal clubhouse. Now she was homeless, so she could only spend her nights in this hospital room. Due to Yu Wenxiang's threat, she was even more afraid to go to school. If she bumped into Yun Wenxiang at school, he would definitely stop her, or maybe even abduct her. Lin Beibei was like a lost little lamb. She really didn't know what to do. Let it all out and it'll be okay. Mother Lin saw how sadly her daughter was crying, and her heart ached. She didn't give her daughter a wealthy life or carefree happiness. Instead, she made her bear more suffering. Hiding in her mother's embrace was like lying in Qin Feng's. Both felt extremely safe and secure. Lin Beibei cried for a good while. Her mood slowly stabilized, and she sat up to move out of her mother's embrace. Beibei, is this because of that Qin Feng? Mother Lin suddenly asked. Lin Beibei's delicate body trembled. She bit her head and nodded. You fell for him? Though she could tell, Mother Lin still wanted to hear her daughter's response. Mom, don't ask anymore. Lin Beibei blushed slightly, lowered her head, and tugged at the corner of her shirt. Mother Lin smiled. Then how does he feel about you? Lin Beibei hesitated for a while. She couldn't quite tell how Qin Feng felt about her, and that was why she was in so much pain. He cared a lot about her and protected her, but he didn't clearly break through that layer of gauze. And 3 days ago, he even rejected her. Beibei, you're now an adult. There are some things your mother can no longer protect you from, but I still worry about you. It's very normal for you to like someone, but you have to clearly understand their character and other aspects of them so you know whether or not they're worth liking. Don't be careless and don't get tricked. Mom, I know, don't worry. I'm going to go out and get some fresh air. Lin Beibei knew her mother was worried about her, but she couldn't explain the relationship between her and Qin Feng, so she found an excuse to run out of the hospital room. Beibei, the sky will be dark soon. Don't go too far. Just walk around in the hospital and come back. Chapter 133. Chapter 133. Would rather die than concede. Lin Bei listened to her mother's words well. She didn't leave the hospital. After all, she was also afraid to walk outside at night alone. She arrived at the pavilion in the garden behind the hospital and sat down. She looked at the stars in the night sky and fell into a daze once again. Suddenly, two dark shadows leapt out from behind Lin Bei. They hit her in the neck and she fainted. The two carried her in a van and quickly disappeared into the night. Young master, we got her. We're heading over now. Within the van, a bearded man spoke into the phone with a dark smile. Hurry up. 2 words came from the phone before the line was cut. There were a total of 3 people that kidnapped Lin Bei. 1 was in charge of driving and 2 sat in the back and guarded her. Of the 2 in the back, one of them was the man with the big beard that just made the call while the other was a bald man. When the gazes of the 2 in the back fell onto Lin Bei's body, their eyes glinted with evil. Big beard, this gal is quite pure. She looks like one of the fairies in paintings. I can't help but want to get refreshed, said the baldy with a smile. Big beard smacked his shiny head. You must want to die. This is the gal that young master you is interested in. The most we can do is feast our eyes. If you dare to secretly touch her and young master you finds out, then 18 generations of your ancestors will be annihilated. Baldy was so frightened that he pulled his hand back and screwed his head with a silly grin. I was joking. Once again, Qin Feng brought his 28 bicycle to its full speed. He rode the bicycle in such a way that it was about to fly. Very soon, he arrived at the royal clubhouse. Hey young Master Qin, you're here. The chubby manager Lu immediately welcomed him. There's none of your business today. Fuck off. Qin Feng was in an extremely bad mood. He waved manager Lu away and flew to Lin Bei's room alone. He opened the door and rushed in. He took a loop around the large suite and was immediately disappointed. There was no trace of Lin Bei in the room. Even her clothes and toiletries were missing. It was clear that Lin Bei moved away, and she left without saying goodbye. Qin Feng dialed a number and called Manager Lu over. Young Master Qin, how can I help you? Manager Lu could tell that Qin Feng was extremely off today. He knew young Master Qin for a long time, but this was the first time he saw him so agitated. Where is the person in this room? Qin Feng shouted at Manager Lu. Manager Lu wiped the cold sweat that was all over his head. He trembled and said, Young Master Qin. She left. Where did she go? I don't know. She left quietly. I thought she was moving to the Qin Manor to live with you, young Master Qin. So I didn't pay much attention to the matter. He couldn't be blamed. After all, Qin Feng had just taken Lin Bei out all day, and the next day, she moved out. Given Qin Feng's prior track record, Manager Lu naturally concluded that she was taken into young Master Qin's grasp and moved to the Qin Manor to play the bamboo flute with Qin Feng every night. I'll deal with you when I get back. Qin Feng shoved Manager Lu away and ran out of the royal clubhouse. After a series of guesses, he realized that since Lin Bei was currently homeless, if she didn't stay at the royal clubhouse, then she could only have gone to her mother's hospital room. 10 minutes later, Qin Feng arrived at Acropolis City's first hospital. He went over to Mother Lin's hospital room, pushed open the door, and saw Mother Lin lying quietly on the hospital bed. However, he did not see Lin Bei. Auntie Lin, has Lin Bei been at the hospital these past couple of days? Qin Feng's heart was filled with worry for Lin Bei. Once he walked in, he got straight to the point. Mother Lin sat up. She closely considered Qin Feng. You must be Qin Feng? That's me. Auntie, Bei hasn't gone to school for the past couple of days, so I purposely rushed here to gauge the situation. Qin Feng, Bei has stayed here with me these past 3 days. I could tell she was in a bad mood. Did you guys fight? When Mother Lin saw that Qin Feng worriedly ran over in the middle of the night, the worry in her heart lessened. She could tell that Qin Feng cared about her darling daughter. Auntie, then where is Bei? Bei? She was just here. She said she wanted to go out for fresh air. Wait, this girl went out for a good while. I told her not to run around, so all things considered, she should be back by now? Mother Lin suddenly became worried. Qin Feng's expression turned cold. He already had a bad premonition, but in order to prevent Mother Lin from worrying, he stood and said, Auntie, don't worry. I'll go out and find Bei. You rest and don't think about anything. Okay. Then I'll trouble you to find her, Mother Lin said. After leaving the intensive care hospital room, Qin Feng called Uncle Fu to pinpoint the location of Yuan Xiang's cell phone. He already came to the detailed deduction that the only person in Acropolis University that had the guts to violate Lin Bei was Yuan Xiang. Very quickly, a text message arrived containing Yuan Xiang's current location, the Wan Feng Hotel. Since Yuan Xiang was at a hotel at this time, this reaffirmed to Qin Feng that he had abducted Lin Bei. Anger erupted within Qin Feng. His eyes turned completely red and his entire body was ablaze. He rushed out of the hospital and sped towards Wan Feng Hotel on his 28 bicycle. Wan Feng Hotel, top floor presidential suite. At this time, Yuan Xiang leaned comfortably on the sofa. A cigar dangled from his mouth and a glass of red wine was in his hand. He daydreamed about the wonderful and passionate time yet to come. The doorbell suddenly rang. With a look from Yuan Xiang, the two people wearing black standing by the door ran to open it. Young Master Yu, we've brought her. Big Beard and Baldy had smiles of flattery as they brought Lin Bei in. Yuan Xiang bolted upright. He looked at the unconscious Lin Bei with a green glint in his eyes. Very good. You all can leave to receive your compensation. Thank you, young Master Yu. The two smilingly left the room. At this time, Yuan Xiang's expression fell serious. He gave the two wearing black by the door a look. They nodded in acknowledgement and followed the other two out the door. Not a minute later, the two wearing black returned to the presidential suite with blood stains on their hands that had not yet dried. They said respectfully, Young Master Yu, the nuisances were eliminated. Yuan Xiang suddenly laughed maniacally. This time, he was completely at ease. Now, besides the two bodyguards in black standing by the door, no one else knew about his abduction of Lin Bei. He could now peacefully enjoy this lovely meal. You both are dismissed. With this command, the two wearing black retreated and shut the door. Yuan Xiang gleefully arrived before Lin Bei. He splashed the red wine he was holding onto her charming face. In an instant, Lin Bei woke up. What do you two want to do? Let go of me. Hurry and let me go. After awakening, Lin Bei's memory was still at the time where she was knocked unconscious. She knew she was in danger and struggled with all her might. Her body was tied with rope and her hands were bound behind her back. No matter how strongly she struggled, she couldn't break free. She began to look around the premises. When she saw Yuan Xiang standing before her, her heart sank abruptly. Young Master Yu, let me go. Haha, let you go? Do you think that's possible? Yuan Xiang squatted and admired Lin Bei's beauty. Because she was struggling with all her might, her hair and clothes were disheveled, revealing an enticing unruliness. Yuan Xiang became restless as he weighed her. Young Master Yu, I beg of you, let me go. Lin Bei continued to struggle. She was so frantic that tears sprang from her eyes. She looked both lovely and pitiful. All right, once I finish satisfying myself, then I'll let you go, Yuan Xiang said. Yuan Xiang, release me quickly. I won't let you touch me. If you dare touch me, I'll tell Qin Feng for sure and have him take care of you. Lin Bei knew that there was no use in begging for mercy with a beast like Yuan Xiang, so she thought she might as well burst out and use Qin Feng to suppress him. Yuan Xiang's expression immediately turned cold. He gnashed his teeth and glared at Lin Bei like an enraged beast. He sent a slap flying over. Pow! This slap was powerful. Fresh blood trickled out of the corner of Lin Bei's mouth. However, there was no trace of fear or pain in her face. She stubbornly lifted her head and looked coldly at Yuan Xiang. Hit me. For every slap that you give me, Qin Feng will help me give you 10 in return. You buy. Yuan Xiang was thoroughly enraged. He threw another slap. He suddenly pounced at her and wanted to tear her clothes. You think Qin Feng is really great, do you? I'm going to come on to you right now. What can he do to me? Where is he right now? Maybe he's having a good time hugging some young girl. You've overestimated your place in his heart. Yuan Xiang began to wildly tear at Lin Bei's clothes while she struggled with all she had. However, her two sleeves were completely torn off, revealing two white shoulder straps. The sight made Yuan Xiang's desire shoot up into the sky. Haha, number 2 beauty of the art department. Let me taste you tonight and see how delicious you are. Yuan Xiang's eyes glowed green as he stared at Lin Bei. This time, he pounced at her thighs and wanted to remove her jeans. Lin Bei's tears fell like rain. Her weak and tender heart was already filled with Qin Feng, and it could never contain another man. She had to either live as Qin Feng's woman or die before getting violated by anyone else. Suddenly, Lin Bei leapt with all her strength and rushed towards the coffee table beside her. Thump! With a crunch, Lin Bei crashed headfirst into the corner of the coffee table. Fresh blood immediately poured out of her forehead. Her vision went black, and she fell unconscious. Fuck, what bad luck. When he saw this scene, Yuan Xiang's face turned cold. He spat. Since you'd rather die than have me touch you, then you're pretty fucking chaste. But I'm not doing what you want. Even if you're going to die, you have to satisfy me before I'll let you die. Yuan Xiang's eyes were completely red. He had already become a complete pervert. When he saw Lin Bei's completely bloodied face, he not only didn't stop, instead, he became even more excited and wild. He extended his hand to tear apart Lin Bei's pants. Chapter 134. Chapter 134, Regret You Were Ever Born. Thump. An enormous sound came from the door. Yuan Xiang jumped in shock and looked towards it. The front door had already disappeared, and it soared into the room. A large and tall man stood at the door with a heavy expression and a wintry coldness. Yuan Xiang trembled at the sight. Qin Feng bent his body slightly and stood at the doorway. His swift and fierce gaze swept through the room. When he saw Lin Bei lying on the ground with blood all over her head, his heart stopped abruptly. A burst of murderous energy exploded out of his body. He rushed forward and appeared by Lin Bei's side. Bei, what's wrong with you? Bei, wake up. He embraced her and called her name gently, but Lin Bei seemed to be in a sleep of death. She heard nothing. He immediately pressed his fingers onto Lin Bei's neck. He was still able to feel Lin Bei's pulse. He was previously extremely nervous, but this allowed him to relax slightly. With a thought from Qin Feng, he spent 100 hedonist points, bought an elementary gold sore medicine, ground the pill into powder, and lightly dabbed it onto Lin Bei's wounds. After doing all this, Qin Feng slowly put down Lin Bei, stood, and looked at Yuan Xiang like he was looking at a dead man. Tell me, how do you want to die? His voice was low and strong. His aura seemed to have the power to swallow rivers and overturn oceans, and his gaze was as cold as frost. At this time, Qin Feng stood there with his body slightly bent. He looked like an undefeated god of war that had the ability to sentence someone to death and provide them with the ability to choose from different types of death. Qin Feng's sudden arrival scared Yuan Xiang, but after calming down, he threw his head back and laughed loudly. Last time when they fought on the sports field in Acropolis University, they were evenly made and it was hard to determine who was superior. However, Yuan Xiang underwent frantic training and went from Stage 3 to Stage 4 abilities. He obviously would not be afraid to face Qin Feng again. Haha, I should be asking you that. You think you can touch me? How funny. Even if you didn't come, after finishing up with this tramp, I'd come to crush you personally. Yuan Xiang laughed arrogantly. Qin Feng didn't care at all, and his expression didn't change in the slightest. He stood there quietly, then said icily, Since you don't want to choose, I'll choose for you. Right after speaking, Qin Feng made his move. He moved like lightning and instantly arrived before Yuan Xiang. The winter iron gloves flashed with a wintry light and fell ruthlessly on Yuan Xiang's abdomen. The simple punch was incomparably powerful and imposing. It sent Yuan Xiang flying. He crashed heavily into the wall and sank into it. After the fist fell, Qin Feng moved his foot and arrived before Yuan Xiang once again. At the moment, Yuan Xiang had an expression of fear and incredulity. He had stage 4 abilities with 5x strength and 5x speed. However, in front of Qin Feng, he fell after a single blow. Before he was able to react, he was already defeated. His rear and waist were already submerged into the concrete wall. His legs and the area above his abdomen were outside suspended in midair. This was an extremely strange situation that could only be seen in movies. Now that this occurred in real life, even Yuan Xiang had a hard time believing it. That's impossible, completely impossible. I have stage 4 abilities. How could I be unable to beat you? Qin Feng, I'm going to trash you. Yuan Xiang forgot about the sharp pain in his body. His eyes were lifeless. It looked like someone pulled out his soul. Completely deranged, he brandished his fists to hit Qin Feng. He cut a sorry figure and looked unspeakably comical. Yuan Xiang, you're definitely going to regret you were ever born. Qin Feng threw another punch with a snarl. His destructive abilities were terrifying when he wore the winter iron gloves. He smashed one of Yuan Xiang's legs. With a kacha, Yuan Xiang's thigh snapped. With a bang, his leg was also smashed into the wall. It would never come out again. Qin Feng, hurry and stop. Let go of me and I'll never bother you again. I'm begging you to let me go. This punch brought Yuan Xiang to his senses. The sharp pain in his body forced him to cry out pitifully. He lost his previous arrogance and confidence. If he wasn't currently stuck in the wall and unable to move, he would undoubtedly be kneeling before Qin Feng and kowtowing in a plea to have his life spared. In the eyes of these rich young masters, face and dignity were nothing compared to survival. Do you think that's possible? Qin Feng growled coldly as he punched again. This punch pounded into Yuan Xiang's other leg. The bones in this leg also shattered, and the leg was smashed into the wall. Qin Feng did not stop. He continuously brandished his fists and pounded Yuan Xiang. He intentionally avoided Yuan Xiang's crucial areas, but smashed every other part of his body. Yuan Xiang weighed helplessly as his body was hit bit by bit into the wall. It hurt so much that he hovered between life and death, but he could do nothing about it. A sense of previously non-existent despair sprang involuntarily. It was exactly as Qin Feng had previously said. Yuan Xiang suddenly deeply regretted, abducting Lin Bei. He regretted provoking the powerful Qin Feng, and regretted coming into this world. This kind of living was worse than death. He wanted to die, but he couldn't. He lived but hurt in every way possible. Yuan Xiang didn't want to experience this again for the rest of his life. Thump. Yuan Xiang's arm was smashed into the wall. Thump. His other arm was also smashed in. Thump. This fist slammed into his abdomen and sent his entire body into the wall. Only his head dangled outside of it. Yuan Xiang suddenly began to laugh maniacally. Finally, in this final moment before his death, he was able to break free. He was not afraid. He was actually incomparably expectant. He wanted Qin Feng to quickly smash his brains. He couldn't continue to withstand this torture. Wham! A fist smashed into Yuan Xiang's skull, and the world fell quiet. However, in Qin Feng's mind, this hadn't ended. It was just the beginning. Because Lin Bei was injured, Qin Feng was utterly infuriated. After this, he was going to take the initiative to step through the doors of the Yu household and completely annihilate the entire clan out of existence. He said previously that Yuan Xiang would regret ever coming into this world. Qin Feng wasn't joking when he said those words. Qin Feng looked at Yuan Xiang, who was currently sunken into the wall, with a tinge of emotion. Then, he felt too lazy to spare this human scum another glance and turned to go towards Lin Bei. He squatted and wrapped Lin Bei in his embrace. Qin Feng called her several times, but Lin Bei still felt nothing and stayed in her state of unconsciousness. Qin Feng immediately pulled out his cell phone and called Uncle Fu. He summarized the situation and told him to send people over as quickly as possible. Chapter 135. Chapter 135, Walk Down Without Looking Back. 5 minutes later, a bodyguard from the Qin manor arrived. Once he entered, he looked at Qin Feng, bowed, and said, "Young Master Qin, The car awaits downstairs and Uncle Fu is on his way. Let me take you to the hospital first. Qin Feng carried Lin Beibei and followed the bodyguard downstairs. They got into the black BMW, and the bodyguard rushed down the road to the first hospital. Uncle Fu probably had everything prepared long ago. At this time, Fong Wentian, the director of the first hospital, waited outside the front entrance of the hospital with 4 doctors wearing white gowns standing behind him. Once they saw Qin Feng carrying Lin Beibei, they immediately rushed forward and welcomed him. Young Master Qin, what's the situation? Fong Wentian looked at Lin Beibei. His heart jumped in shock when he saw blood all over her head. Anyone who saw such a pure and beautiful girl hurt to this extent would feel a heartache. Director Fong, I think she hit her head on the corner of a coffee table. You have to think of a way to save her. When Qin Feng saw Fong Wentian, he grabbed his arm. Because he was so anxious, he couldn't control his strength. Fong Wentian winced. Young Master Qin, don't be anxious. Let go first. Qin Feng realized he was impolite and immediately let go. Director Fong, you have to save her. Don't worry, young Master Qin. We will definitely try our best. Hurry and follow me to the operation room. After Fong Wentian finished speaking, he quickly led the way. Qin Feng carried Lin Beibei and followed behind him. They arrived before the doors of the emergency room. Qin Feng bent over and kissed Lin Beibei's bloody forehead. Beibei, you have to hang in there. Nothing can happen to you. You hear? Young Master Qin, give us the patient. Even delaying a second is dangerous. Fong Wentian couldn't help but urge when he saw how reluctant Qin Feng was to part with Lin Beibei. After this, Qin Feng placed Lin Beibei on the strayer. The 4 doctors wearing white gowns immediately pushed Lin Beibei into the operation room, and the door to the room shut tightly behind them. Qin Feng sat alone on the bench outside. His mind was flooded with Lin Beibei's smile. He thought of how Lin Beibei courageously stood out to cheer for him the first time he trained his body on the sports field. He thought of when he brought Lin Beibei to eat at the Royal Hotel and fooled that idiot Tai Ming. He thought of how she angrily pouted her lips when they sat at the same desk at school and he couldn't help but pinch her cheeks and touch her thigh. He thought of that time she wore the qipao and looked like a beautiful fairy that walked out of a painting. He thought of that pitiful girl that went to the royal clubhouse to sell her body to make money to cure her mother. And also, Qin Feng suddenly realized that he had too many memories with Lin Beibei, so many that he wasn't able to recall them all. In his mind, Lin Beibei was a pure girl that loved to laugh. Her destiny was turbulent, but she never lowered her head. She was unyielding, independent, and hardworking. Qin Feng couldn't understand how Yuan Xiang could make a move on such a cute and kind girl. If he could start over, Qin Feng still wouldn't hesitate. He would still punch Yuan Xiang into the wall fist by fist and make him dangle between life and death. Young Master Qin, after who knows how long, a familiar voice passed into his ear. Qin Feng turned his head to find that Uncle Fu was already beside him. Uncle Fu, you're here, Qin Feng said listlessly. Uncle Fu gave a long sigh. He already clearly understood the situation. When he looked at Qin Feng, there was a strange glow in his eyes. This kind of young Master Qin was a bit unfamiliar, but also likable. Because of a girl, he beat the prince of Jincheng City's Yu Syndicate to death. This kind of courage wasn't something normal people could possess. Young Master Qin, the situation is pretty much under control. Qin Feng looked for someone to bribe the boss of Wan Feng Hotel to destroy the security tapes. I also got someone to clean the site, so there won't be any of young Master Qin's fingerprints, Uncle Fu said calmly. Qin Feng nodded. He was always reassured by the way Uncle Fu did things. Young Master Qin, how is Miss Lin? After hesitating for a bit, Uncle Fu opened his mouth to ask. Qin Feng didn't know how to respond to Uncle Fu. He also wanted to know how Lin Beibei was doing right now. At this time, the doors to the emergency room opened. Fong Wentian walked out with a worried frown. Director Fong, how's the situation? Lin Beibei's fine now, right? Once he saw Fong Wentian, Qin Feng immediately rushed forward. Fong Wentian shook his head helplessly. He took a deep breath and said, Young Master Qin, we really did all we could. If someone didn't apply some mysterious medicinal powder on Miss Lin's wound, I'm afraid she actually wouldn't have made it while on the way here. There are both good and bad aspects to the current situation. Miss Lin's life is no longer in danger, but she can't wake up. To use a professional term, she has fallen into a vegetative state. When he heard the words vegetative state, Qin Feng's heart dropped sharply. He couldn't accept this reality. How could a kind and beautiful little lady in the prime of youth fall into a vegetative state? No one had the right to strip her of her smile, her every move, or the feelings she expressed in her youth. Yuan Xiang couldn't, Qin Feng couldn't, no one could. Qin Feng was angry. He was so angry that his heart was ablaze with fury. Feng Wentian and Uncle Fu stood beside him and could feel that the surrounding temperature began to rise. Even Feng Wentian, an elderly with bountiful life experiences, didn't dare to look directly into Qin Feng's blazing and severe eyes. Young Master Qin, I'll go try again and see if a miracle happens. The atmosphere was too stifling. Feng Wentian couldn't stand it and ran back into the emergency room. Only Qin Feng and Uncle Fu were left in the empty entrance to the emergency room. Uncle Fu, help me take care of the paperwork for Bei Bei's stay at the hospital. I still have something to take care of. Qin Feng suddenly opened his mouth. A gleam flashed through Uncle Fu's eyes. His voice trembled a bit as he said, "Are you going rush over to Jincheng City's household completely alone?"
Yes.
In front of Uncle Fu, Qin Feng didn't have to hide anything. He nodded resolutely. Do you have to go alone? You can order me to send people over, Uncle Fu said. This time, I won't trouble Uncle Fu. I'll take care of my own business, said Qin Feng word by word through clenched teeth. Uncle Fu fell quiet for a good while. He considered Qin Feng again. The expression on his face changed completely. He didn't seem like an underling of the Qin manner that always put on a look of respect and obedience. His gaze was deep as he looked closely at Qin Feng. He seemed more like an elder closely examining his successor. Qin Feng, I followed your father for 20 years. I watched you grow, and in my heart, you're no different from my own son. I won't comment on how you were in the past, but from today onwards, I'm going to get to know you again. I'm going to why you bring Chairman Qin and I changes and surprises, why you become stronger, and why you gain the ability to stand on your own. At that time, you won't need Chairman Qin and I to constantly wipe your behind. At that time, you will even able to protect Chairman Qin and I. All these years of effort were worth it. Qin Feng, this time, I support you. Uncle Fu suddenly stuck out a fist. Qin Feng also stuck out a fist and fist-bumped Uncle Fu. He said solemnly, Thank you, Uncle Fu. You're an elder that has always been someone I respect. This was the case before, and is still the case now. Uncle Fu's eyes reddened slightly. Qin Feng, I'll go with you. We'll fight side by side. Qin Feng looked at Uncle Fu and bowed. He said sincerely, There's no need, Uncle Fu. Stay at the hospital. Before I return, help me take care of the Lin mother and daughter. I'm afraid someone will come harm them. I'm leaving. Please don't tell my father about this yet. Qin Feng left. He knew about the perils of this task. If he told someone that he was going to challenge a powerful family, he would certainly be ridiculed. He also knew that what he was doing defied rationality. This kind of impetuousness might bear extremely severe consequences. But who never went crazy during their youth? That kind of youth isn't called youth. Qin Feng could go fight to the death and he wouldn't regret it. But if he didn't go, he would regret it for the rest of his life. He walked resolutely. To use song lyrics to describe it, don't turn back, and keep going. Jincheng City, a manor in the Jiao district. When natives of Jincheng City passed this large manor, they would definitely take a detour around it. They didn't dare to casually stop there. After all, this was the territory of Jincheng City's #1 syndicate. It was said that the ancestor of the Yu family was a troublemaker that came out of a group of beggars. After, he set his roots in Jincheng City and began to develop his abilities. From this time up to Yuan Xiang's generation, it had already been in development for 30 years. They had a completely stable foothold on Jincheng City because of their long history of underworld undertakings and their viciousness and mercilessness. Even if Jincheng City's underground was a mixture of both the good and bad, and there were a large number of sects, The eldest son of the Yu family was still not someone they would casually mess with. There weren't very many problems with this kind of syndicate. At this time, they were in the living room of the villa. All of the relatives and descendants of the Yu family were gathered. These people all held gloomy expressions. They were split in 2 rows and sat on the 2 sides of the room with seriousness. Their shining gazes were directed towards an elder sitting in the lobby. The elder was a little more than 70 years old. He wore black clothes for practicing martial arts. His aura was as cold as ice, and he was calm and prestigious. This was the family elder with the highest status at the moment. Yue. Dad, our Yu family holds power over Jincheng City, and our name is spread far and wide. Who the hell dared to offend our Yu family? Today, my Xianger was killed in Acropolis City. I hope you can take responsibility for this situation. I want to mobilize all of the Yu family forces. We have to find this stinking brat, even if we have to overturn Acropolis City. I'm going to throw him into a deep fryer and swallow him whole. Yu and Xiang's father Yu Hualong suddenly stood with agitation. Then, a man in his 30s stood. This was Yu Hualong's second younger brother Yu Dingtian. When he discovered Yu and Xiang died, he wasn't mad at all. On the contrary, he looked at his older brother with a merry laugh and said, "Older brother, don't be so agitated just yet. We're all saddened by this murder, but we don't even have a clear image of the situation yet. So how could we just jump in and act on this situation? Plus, Yu Xiang is the strongest among the younger generation of the Yu family, and he just broke through to the 4th stage. If his opponent didn't have even a bit of ability, how could he kill him? He must be someone from an important family to be able to murder a stage 4 expert. We cannot act without thinking." Yu Dingtian shook his head and sighed. Chapter 136. Chapter 136. Making People Equal. Ding Tian, don't fucking cry crocodile tears. When you found out that Xianger died, who knows how happy you were. Now your son can smoothly become the new successor of the younger generation. Yu Hualong glared and shouted at Yu Dingtian. Yu Dingtian's face dropped. Older brother, you can't say things randomly like that. You're framing me right now. We all know what kind of person Yu and Xiang was. According to the intelligence I gathered, he was beaten to death because he forced himself on a campus beauty. Even I think this kind of immoral behavior is despicable. What are you saying? Fucking say that again. Yu Hualong suddenly burst out. He pointed at his second younger brother and growled. You think your brat is proper? Doesn't he also force himself on the maidens of Jincheng City all day? Who knows how many families he's wrecked? And you fucking have the nerve to talk about my son? I'll kill you first. The Yu family began in the underworld, so this kind of explosive and dirty talking was a habit that lingered in their bones. The Yu family elder coughed twice and stood when he saw that Yu Hualong and Yu Dingtian were about to start fighting. Both of you stop right now. By doing this, you are both rebelling. Currently, the Yu family has experienced an enormous humiliation. The Yu family's direct descendant and grandson has been murdered. And you two are in the mood for internal strife? I don't care whether or not Xianger forced women into bed, but if someone dares to touch someone of our Yu family, they need to pay the painful price. Dad, you're right. Xianger's life is the most important. Nothing else matters much. Even if there were hundreds of these tramps, they're worth nothing compared to our Xianger's one life. How is the research going on the murderer? Have you found out who it is? The elder sat back onto his tiger head chair and opened his mouth slightly. We're in the middle of looking into it. I believe we'll have the results very soon, Yu Hualong said. There's no need to research anymore. This young master has delivered himself to your doorstep. A low bellow passed through the lobby. The audience was extremely shocked. They looked towards the doorway. All they saw was a youth with regular features and clear pale skin appear at the doorway. He stood straight and tall like a pine tree. He looked impressive and exuded a faint chill from his body. Though this feeling couldn't be seen or touched, the audience in the manor felt how vivid it was. Some people even began to shiver. Stinking brat, who are you? The Yu family clan was just in the middle of a meeting. They were mad that an outsider suddenly appeared. Yu Hualong directly stepped out and glared coldly at Qin Feng. His eyes were like a poisonous snake hiding in the dark night. You could call me a boor because I just killed a domestic animal. This animal's name was Yuan Xiang. Qin Feng's voice was soft and deliberate. But when this phrase fell into the ears of those in the Yu family's lobby, it was like a shock of lightning that blasted their brains open. The audience was dumbstruck. They stared at Qin Feng wide-eyed and slack-jawed. This time, they truly examined and sized up Qin Feng anew. He was just a youth. He had no weapons in his hand, and there was nothing hidden on his body. They questioned his mental abilities because he ran over to the doorstep of the mansion of the number 1 underworld family and said these bold words in a calm and collected manner. This guy wasn't a fool. He was a lunatic. Ha ha ha, stinking brat. Are you here to pay for your crime? Yu Hualong suddenly laughed loudly. Halfway through laughing, his expression became sinister. He glared viciously at Qin Feng. You think our Yu family members are a bunch of idiots? Tell me, who sent you? Who dared to kill my Xiang'er? I'm going to shred him into 10,000 pieces. Qin Feng had a soft and calm expression. A fresh breeze blew his soft hair, and he said lightly, I killed Yuan Xiang. You all no longer need to be suspicious. You think I'll believe you? You're treating our Yu family like some inferior clan. You killed my son, and you dared to personally come to the Yu family to deliver yourself into the hands of death? I saw through your little show right from the get-go, and I'm fed up with it. If you're straightforward and you tell us who the person behind the scenes is, I might spare your life. Whoever dares to bother someone of our Yu family will not meet a good end. Yu Hualong was not the only one who didn't believe Qin Feng was the murderer. Even the rest of the audience in the Yu family lobby didn't believe him. Yuan Xiang had just broken through to stage 4. Among those of his generation, he was already considered a glorious and talented martial artist. Externally, Qin Feng looked young. He didn't look like a capable expert. It clearly made no sense to say he killed Yuan Xiang. You think the lives of the Yu family are precious? Qin Feng refuted coldly. He did not care about these people's deliberations. Of course they're precious. Our Yu family members are the dragons and phoenixes of humanity. How can ordinary people compare to us? You killed Xiang'er just because he forced himself on a woman. Even if she had 10,000 lives, her value still wouldn't be comparable to one of our Xiang'er's fingers. Yu Hualong yelled with agitation. So many women fight to get into the front doors of our Yu family. If Xiang'er were to take an interest in that girl, that's luck she acquired through 8 generations of cultivation. And she still wasn't willing? What a fucking lowlife. Qin Feng's expression became malevolent. He began to exude a icy aura. In this world, people are born equal. They aren't categorized as precious or base. Yuan Xiang deserve to die, and so do you. As his voice fell, Qin Feng already pounced at Yu Hualong. Damn it! Hurry and surround this man and cripple his arms and legs. When he saw that Qin Feng was about to make a move, the Yu family elder shouted. Then, over 10 strong men wearing black tank tops rushed in from outside. They immediately surrounded Qin Feng. These hoodlums were subordinates of the Yu family. These devils and monsters all looked at Qin Feng and wordlessly pounced at him. Over 10 big hoodlums rushed over unarmed and defenseless. They were quite frightening. Qin Feng stood in the middle of the circle, and his expression remained unchanged. He waited until the fist of the foremost man rushing over was about to fall onto the tip of his nose. Suddenly, Qin Feng gave a kick. A powerful force fell onto that man's stomach, and he was sent flying away. All of the people standing behind him fell onto the ground. While that man flew away from the kick, Qin Feng borrowed this energy to suddenly rise into the air. He flipped spectacularly and stepped on another man's head during his descent. An enormous weight immediately forced the man to fall to his knees. He was unable to stand. Qin Feng stood on one leg and stood tiptoed on top of the man's head. He stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the audience with his eyes ablaze. Today, I came to get even with the Yu family. As for the irrelevant people, if you want to leave, then hurry up and fuck off. When the words fuck off fell, an imposing air shot out of Qin Feng's body. He delivered a flying kick and sent the man he was standing on flying, and he knocked over another row of hoodlums. Chapter 137. Chapter 137. escaping for one's life. At this time, Qin Feng was like a fish in the water. His figure was strong and his movements were flowing and natural. He speedily scuttled amongst the crowd and continuously punched tyrannically. Every time a fist fell, there were slight sounds of explosions. Those 10 hoodlums in black were no ma for Qin Feng. With a couple of moves from him, they all fell to the ground. Brat, you must be looking to die if you dared to run and cause trouble with our Yu family. Yu Hualong suddenly exploded. He wielded a large blade and slashed at Qin Feng. He could tell that Qin Feng wasn't an ordinary person since he displayed a flawless external fists technique. And from the strength revealed earlier, he was at least a stage 2 expert. This kind of expert would be largely unaffected by the punches and kicks of ordinary people. This blade was like a crashing wave. It was imposing and majestic and hid an enormous power. This made Qin Feng instantly more alert. He didn't have the courage to block Yu Hualong's blade head-on. He put more strength into his legs and retreated violently all the way out of the Yu house and into the empty courtyard. Stinking brat, you want to leave? Since you're here, stay here forever. Yu Hualong brandished his blade and gave chase. Compared to Yuan Xiang, his old man was clearly more ferocious. Half of the Yu territory was beaten and won over by Yu Hualong. Every slash of this large blade in his hands was meant to kill. It was completely different from those fake flowery and showy techniques. In the pie-black night, several glints of a blade and flashes of winter light shone occasionally. The gloves and large blade clashed time and time again, releasing ear-piercing and wind-tearing noises. The opponents were able to gauge one another's ability through this exchange. At this time, Yu Hualong was at the peak of Stage 5 external expertise. He brandished his large steel blade with 7x strength. He was incomparably fierce and impossible to block. At this time, Qin Feng was at Stage 2. In addition to the strength potion he drank previously and the intermediate Thunder Tiger Fists, he could only use 6x strength. But he had 6x speed, so he was faster than Yu Hualong, and this made up for his inferior strength. For a moment, the two fought with no clear victor. This fight was extremely intense. In the lobby of the Yu house, Elder Yu's face darkened dramatically. His deep and handsome eyes flashed. He looked at Yu Ding Tian and commanded, Ding Tian, go out and help your older brother deal with that brat. How dare he come cause a ruckus at our house? Kill him. Yes, Elder. An almost imperceptible cold smile skirted through Yu Ding Tian's face. He casually walked behind the elder. Suddenly, a dagger with winter light appeared in his hands. He forcefully stabbed it into the elder's lower back. Slam! The blade fell, but Yu Ding Tian did not feel reassured yet. He pulled out the dagger and stabbed it into the elder's back. This time, he pierced the heart from behind. A surprised and angry expression hung on the elder's face. He died with unresolved grievances. Elder, you're already so old. It'd be good to die. You'll be able to sleep and live in ease and comfort all day. After stabbing the elder to death, Yu Ding Tian's expression turned cold. Don't blame me. Who told you to give all the good things to older brother, and that lowly animal Yuan Xiang, but ignore my son and I? Now, the heavens can't take it anymore. They got someone to kill Yuan Xiang. How could I turn my back on Providence? I'll kill you first. Then, I'll let that stinking brat who came to cause trouble and older brother fight one another. I'll just sit here and accept the benefits without lifting a pinky. Then, the whole Yu family will be mine. Haha, I'm truly a genius. Yu Ding Tian sat on the tiger head throne in the lobby. He excitedly caressed the carved jade chair. Not long before, every time there was a clan meeting, he restlessly weighed the elders sitting on the tiger head throne. He wondered when he would be able to sit on it and possess the Yu family's power. Today, his desires were going to be realized. At this moment, Yu Ding Tian's mood was indescribably ecstatic. Second older brother, what happened to Elder? Why you killed Elder? The Yu elder had 3 sons in total. At this time, the third son, Yu Dezue, walked into the lobby. When he saw the scene before him, he shouted with shock. Third younger brother, I killed Elder. From now on, the Yu family belongs to your second older brother. In the future, Follow me and I can guarantee that you'll be able to eat and drink well. Yu Dezue was 25 this year. He hadn't married or begotten children yet. In Yu Dingtian's eyes, he was not threatening. Thus, he decided to take in this brat. Yu Dingtian, you're insane. You even killed Dad? You're no different from a wild beast. I have to avenge Father. I'm going to kill you. Yu Dezue fiercely pounced at Yu Dingtian. Yu Dingtian sat calmly on the tiger head throne. His lips quirked into a cold smile. He pointed a pie-black handgun at third younger brother and strongly pulled the trigger. With a bang, the bullet pierced Yu Dezue's brain. Yu Dezue also completely disappeared from this world. What an idiotic choice. Yu Dingtian sassily blew the tip of his gun. Now only Yu Hualong is left. I'll first let him fight that brat. When everything is done, then I'll come out and clean you all up. Ha ha ha. Qin Feng and Yu Hualong had their hands full fighting one another. After testing one another out, they both had a good grasp of the other's strengths and weaknesses. At this time, they went all out to kill their opponent. Roar! Yu Hualong roared in anger. He leapt up again. The large blade in his hand glinted coldly in the moonlight. Die, you stinking brat! Blood rays fill the sky. The large blade in Yu Hualong's hand suddenly danced crazily and swayed left and right. The speed became increasingly quick. In the end, it looked like he held a phantom fan. At the same time, Yu Hualong suddenly leapt and arrived above Qin Feng's head. He slashed downwards with his large blade, forming phantom images that joined to form the image of a long blade that was at least a meter. The blade surged downwards like a waterfall, imposing and vast. Even when it was a couple of meters from Qin Feng, he was able to hear the fierce sound as it sliced through the air. Qin Feng's expression was extremely heavy. Yu Hualong was clearly using moves of certain death. When he exchanged blows with him initially, Qin Feng knew how frightening his strength was. His current violent slash almost touched Qin Feng, and he could imagine himself flying if the blow were to connect. He stood in his original spot and didn't react. When he saw that the blade was about to hit his shoulder, he suddenly detached his flying dragon armor and its weight. At the same time, he used inner chi to bring his speed to its maximum. This happened so quickly that Yu Hualong's eyes spun. He couldn't see Qin Feng's position clearly due to the shock that filled his eyes. When he was fighting with Qin Feng earlier, Yu Hualong was shocked by Qin Feng's ability time and time again. If he didn't see it with his own eyes, he wouldn't believe that there'd be someone in the 4 cities of Yun province of this ability at Qin Feng's young age. This kind of ability was enough to kill his own son. He began to believe Qin Feng's arrogant boasts that he made upon his arrival. Maybe he really was the one that killed his son. Within this blurry phantom image, a pale yellow light suddenly flashed. The next second, the light became clearer and nearer. A gust of icy death enshrouded Yu Hualong. Fear arose from the bottom of his heart. Qin Feng's body finally came back into clear sight. He stood before him with a long and sharp sword with a pale yellow glow. Who knew when this sword appeared in Qin Feng's hands? He wore gloves with gleaming winter light and held the true steel sword with a pale yellow glow. This dazzling equipment alone was enough to stun Yu Hualong. He fought with Qin Feng so viciously and for so long that one could say that he had beaten Qin Feng from head to toe, but hadn't discovered that he had been hiding any sort of weapon. However, a sharp and long sword truly appeared in Qin Feng's hands. This defied logic. Yu Hualong thought about it until his head was worn out, but he still couldn't understand it. I think you should die first. Qin Feng didn't need to clarify because the shroud of death enveloped Yu Hualong completely. Qin Feng slashed downwards with his sword. The move billowed over with the seeming ability to split the earth and sky and overturn rivers and oceans. Qin Feng's sword moved too quickly, giving Yu Hualong no opportunity to dodge. Yu Hualong did not even feel the icy feeling of the sword piercing his chest. He stared blanking for a good number of seconds before he felt to himself splitting from the top of his head slowly down to his feet. That pain of getting split felt like someone was tearing his heart and lungs. Bang! Yu Hualong's body burst. He was cut in half, and fresh blood dyed the green grass. The hooligans of the Yu household were dumbstruck. Ever since Yu Hualong jumped in to fight Qin Feng, these people didn't dare make any moves. They all had eyes and could tell that this was a mob between experts. They were only small fries, so even if they contributed to the fight, they would only make a mess for Yu Hualong. All of those present were well aware of Yu Hualong's ability. They even feared it. He was the #1 expert of the Yu family and the #1 expert of Jincheng City. The Yu family could only stably preserve their position on the throne as the #1 overlord of Jincheng City due to Yu Hualong's existence. No one dared to offend him. But on this day, the Yu Hualong with a godlike existence in their hearts was killed by a youth. The scene was so violent and fiery that these people looked at Qin Feng differently. Their previous anger towards him had become endless dread. I'll say it one more time. If you're not someone of the Yu household, fuck off now. In a bit, even if you want to leave, I won't let you. Qin Feng held the long sword in his hand and stood on the ground. When he said these words again, no one dared to question the validity of his threat. Close to 100 hooligans surrounded the courtyard at this time, and they all looked at one another. In the end, they arrived at a unanimous certainty. They rushed out of the Yu household gates and ran for their lives. That's right, they were running for their lives. Bang, bang, bang. The spectators had just begun to run away when a series of gunshots rang out from outside. Yu Dingtian stood at the entrance of the Yu family villa with a cigar dangling from his mouth. The pie-black handgun blended in with the dark night. He didn't even look and fired randomly into the crowd thrice. After the 3 gunshots, 2 people fell to the ground. Next, there was the sound of Yu Dingtian's arrogant laughter. Chapter 138. Chapter 138, Destruction of the Yu Family. Ha ha ha, you want to run? Then run, you show off. Aren't you just a brat whose hair hasn't completely grown yet? What era are we in? You think that if you're a martial cultivator, you'd be able to do anything? Why don't you fucking rise to the heavens for me to see? In the end, you've trained so hard for over 10 years only to be killed by my handgun. Idiot. It is now the era of technological advancements. You're all fucking idiots. You still think we're in an era of cold weapons? You all used your fists to punch and legs to kick, and you even pulled out a sword? Fuck, you even smeared fluorescent yellow powder on it? You really have a fucking personality. Bang, bang, bang. Yu Dingtian fired another 3 shots into the air. At this time, the whole audience stopped. They were so scared that they didn't even dare to breathe loudly. I would like to announce right now that the Yu family elder is already dead. My older brother Yu Hualong is also dead, and third younger brother Yu Dezue is also dead. Now, the Yu family has already become mine. From now on, don't worry and follow me to conquer lands under the heavens. I won't treat you all unfairly. Yu Dingtian was immensely pleased with himself. He looked toward Qin Feng and let out a large laugh. As for this brat, he has pretty good skills. At his young age, he even eliminated my older brother. What a pity, what a pity. Idiots like you put in the effort to practice martial arts, but why don't you practice your marksmanship? I want to let you know right now that no matter how impressive your abilities are, when faced with my handgun, you're only a... Yu Dingtian wasn't able to say nobody when a spray of blood splashed from his head. A little throwing knife had already run through his head. He fell over with his body straight and tall. Though he died, his eyes were wide open and he died with grievances. Even during the instant he died, he still didn't understand how his death had occurred. Ugh, I had to waste 100 hedonist points to kill this scum. What a pity. Qin Feng didn't even look at the dead Yu Dingtian. He sighed and shook his head. He looked into the hedonist sovereign system and found that his hedonist point balance was 0. He had just used his last 100 points to buy a little throwing knife to kill Yu Dingtian. Once again, he longed to acquire 3,000 hedonist points so he could quickly buy the wind blade martial skill. Then, he'd be able to throw knives whenever he wanted. And these would be formless and shadowless throwing knives. Qin Feng was pretty lucky. He ran over to obliterate the Yu family during a moment of internal strife. That idiot Yu Dingtian helped him a lot. However, Qin Feng depended on his ability more and more. If he didn't have absolute abilities, he would have been killed by Yu Hualong long ago. Qin Feng didn't feel a shred of sympathy when he weighed the Yu family get completely annihilated. This conclusion was of his personal creation. He didn't give these people another glance, leapt away, and disappeared into the night. In the large Yu family courtyard, over 100 hooligans stood scattered. They stood there looking like they lost their souls. Who knew what they were thinking about? Suddenly, in the dark night, a wave of power rushed into the Yu household. This group of people wore red tank tops and black pants. There were close to 100 of them in total. In the dark night, they looked like a massive black snake that quickly rushed forward. Very quickly, they rushed into the Yu family courtyard. Big Brother Biao, have all these people gone crazy? When the people in red entered the courtyard, they noticed something strange. All of the Yu clan members were standing there stupidly. Even if they were beaten, they wouldn't even know how to retaliate. Someone was here before. The Yu family has probably provoked someone that could not be offended, so their entire clan was annihilated. The man called Big Brother Biao's eyes filled with shock. He looked at the core members of the Yu family and found the scene hard to believe. He was big and tall and kept a full beard. If Qin Feng left any later, or if Big Brother Biao arrived a tad earlier, they would have met and would definitely cry and hug one another. Deep in the night, Big Brother Biao led the Red Clan, which had close to 100 people, into the Yu household. This just so happened to be the Zhang Biao that took the blame for Qin Feng and escaped out of Acropolis. After, he arrived in Jinqing City and joined their Red Clan. He relied on his own body and comradeship to become valued by the boss of the Red Clan. Not even a month had passed, and he already became the second in command. The Yu family has already been annihilated. Brothers, hurry and grab onto this opportunity to completely crush the remnants of the Yu family's power. Keep those that are willing to surrender and join our Red Clan, and kill those that are unwilling. Under Zhang Biao's command, many of his subordinates were incessantly excited. They originally thought there would be a vicious battle tonight. Who would have thought that before they rushed over, someone had already obliterated the Yu family? Though they hadn't seen Qin Feng's hot-blooded battle, they were impossibly moved even just by imagining it. The Yu family wasn't that easy to wipe out. Qin Feng had already become a mysterious expert in the hearts of the spectators. When Qin Feng returned to Acropolis City's first hospital, it was already the wee hours of the morning. He changed his clothes and looked clean, fresh, and refined. No one would connect this current him with that sword-wielding Devil King Qin that went to the Yu household on his own and killed without blinking. He lightly pushed open the door to the intensive care ward room that Mother Lin was in. Right away, Qin Feng saw Lin Bei lying in the adjacent bed. The moonlight just so happened to shine on her lovely profile. She was a gentle and serene beauty mixed with an icy coldness. "Qin Feng, you're here." Mother Lin had not slept. She suddenly spoke quietly. "Auntie Lin." Qin Feng felt ashamed. He didn't know how to face Mother Lin. "Qin Feng, come sit." Mother Lin pointed at her bedside. Qin Feng hesitated before sitting. When she saw Qin Feng seated at her bedside, Mother Lin exhaled deeply. She seemed to have aged 10 years in an instant. Her face was filled with distress. "Qin Feng, someone named Uncle Fu told me what happened. These people are not even comparable to wild beasts. I can't believe they did such a thing to Bei. It's my fault for spoiling Bei so much. I shouldn't have let her go outside on her own in the middle of the night. I just have one daughter, and she's at the age of overflowing youth. If she never awakens and leaves her youth in the hospital room on the sickbed, what will I do?" Mother Lin was just an ordinary citizen, and she suddenly suffered such a great blow. She wept noiselessly. Qin Feng patted Mother Lin's back and said staunchly, "Auntie Lin, don't worry. I'll find the best doctors in the country. We'll definitely be able to cure Bei and wake her up. And you don't have to worry about the money. Our Qin family is influential and our company is large, so this money is nothing much to us." When Qin Feng rushed back to the hospital, Uncle Fu was still guarding the door to the hospital room. The results regarding Lin Bei's condition had come out. The impact to her brain led to internal bleeding. Her life was preserved, but there was no knowing when she could awaken, and maybe she would lie in bed for the rest of her life in a vegetative state. Chapter 139. Chapter 139. General Manager Li is my friend. When Qin Feng knew of Lin Beibei's condition, he was extremely sad. However, he could not fall. He comforted Mother Lin for a while and waited until her emotions stabilized before sitting in front of Lin Beibei's bed. He lightly caressed her fair, soft, and smooth face. He incessantly prayed that she could regain consciousness soon. Master, is there a need to be so excessive? You possess the hedonist sovereign system. It's just a cerebral hemorrhage. It's not a big deal. Little Pig's voice resounded in Qin Feng's brain. If Master can concoct magic pills, then you could even create nature-defying medicine that could bring the dead back to life or make you never grow old. As for this cerebral hemorrhage, you could concoct any old blood qi pill and cure it completely. Master, I suddenly feel that it's really embarrassing to follow a master like you. Little Pig, I'm punishing you and preventing you from coming out of the system for a whole year, Qin Feng said with anger. After yelling at Little Pig, Qin Feng thought for a bit and changed his expression. He looked at Little Pig with the desire to gain his favor. He smiled. Haha, Little Pig, I was just playing around at first. Is what you said true? If I concoct a blood qi pill, I could wake up Lin Beibei? Blood qi pills can help ordinary people quickly step onto the path of a martial artist and allow them to possess the ability to congeal and stimulate blood flow. Also, it can also restore and nourish damaged channels of qi flow and organs. Lin Beibei had only hit her head with her own strength, so the damage isn't that large. Even using the blood qi pill to cure her is a bit excessive. Little Pig said all this with a bit of anger. Qin Feng was a bit down, but he suddenly became excited. The 100-year blood lotus Suqiu you shoved him was coincidentally the most important ingredient necessary to create the blood qi pill. Now, all he had to do was raise himself to the 4th stage of inner qi, so he could create the blood qi pill. Then, Lin Beibei would regain consciousness. With this, Qin Feng's desires to become more powerful became more voracious. A breezy and rainy night in Jincheng City, Yun Province. Though it was already the wee hours of the night, many people in Jincheng City were still awake. To people on the road, this night was a strange one. The Yu family, who had a stable position as the #1 overlord family of Jincheng City, had its entire clan eliminated in the night. When the other large underground powers heard this report, they became restless. They all surrounded and attacked near the Yu household in hopes of getting a piece of this big fatty meat. In a luxurious villa in another corner of Jincheng City, the lights were still blazing brightly. 2 men sat in the lavish and majestic lounge. One was old while the other was young. The youth lay leisurely on the sofa, while the elderly man stood to the side and waited for the youth to speak. Uncle Ghost, have you discovered who exterminated the Yu family? The youth was imposing and impressive. He wore a long traditional Chinese robe, and his voice was calm and stable. Second young master, those that were sent out to investigate said they were unable to find the culprit. All of the surveillance in the Yu household has been destroyed. Also, that person was extremely cunning. They probably didn't drive over and didn't leave and come using the same route. I'm afraid we don't have any leads to follow, Uncle Ghost said. If Qin Feng was here, he would go all out in a fight with Uncle Ghost. Last time, when he killed and beheaded Madahu, he was that someone clad in black who took Madahu away. He was talented, nimble, and impossible to predict. After hesitating for a bit, Uncle Ghost said, during the time that the Yu family was obliterated, the spy we planted in Acropolis City had reported that Qin Feng had gone missing. After hearing Uncle Ghost's words, malicious light flashed through the previously calm and cold eyes of this youth. You think Qin Feng annihilated the Yu family? If these words were spoken a month ago, the youth would be the first to burst into laughter. However, after weighing Qin Feng for a month, both the youth and Uncle Ghost began to reacquaint themselves anew with this seemingly crazy hedonistic young master. First, he found Feng Tianhua and Madahu to deal with Qin Feng, but Qin Feng saw through his plans. Then, Feng Tianhua's father was captured, and the Feng family fell like the setting sun past the hills. Also, Madahu was killed and his father Mada Long's flying dragon gang was suppressed by the Qin family. Then, he found Chao Yang to frame Royal Group, but he was also caught by Qin Feng. The evidence of skimping on resources was still sitting in the police station. Then, he joined hands with Hao Yun of the Hao family to deal with Qin Feng. Hao Yun was killed at the scene, and a war began between the Hao and Qin families. At this time, the Hao family had already fallen into dire straits. Only the Hao elder was left, and he was hiding for his life. All of this occurred clearly because Qin Huang was helping Qin Feng, but Qin Feng's own ability and intelligence could not be overlooked anymore. The second young master originally never paid attention to Qin Feng, but at this time, he sat up straight on the sofa. His eyes grew increasingly cold. He didn't need Uncle Ghost to respond because he had already come to a conclusion on his own. He planted countless spies in Acropolis City specifically to watch Qin Feng's every move. The second young master naturally knew about Yuan Xiang making a move on Lin Bei Bei. Yuan Xiang had just provoked Qin Feng, and then the Yu family was wiped out. If this was a coincidence, then it was too coincidental. We've all underestimated Qin Feng. The second young master sighed. Suddenly, a bone-chilling murderous aura shot out of his eyes. He stared at Uncle Ghost closely and commanded, "No matter what, within 3 months, I want to see the Qin family heavily damaged and Qin Feng become a cripple." Qin Feng stayed beside Lin Bei Bei in her hospital room for 3 days before he could resume his normal life. At this time, he sat in the lobby of the sales department. His head was filled with quests. Qin Feng wanted to die when he saw the bright red value of 0 hedonist points. Qin Feng opened the hedonist sovereign system and looked closely at his taskbar. If he didn't look, he wouldn't have known. He took a look and jumped with surprise. He still had 12 pending quests. Make Lin Bei Bei the host girlfriend, 100 hedonist points. Time remaining, 7 days. Conquer Han Ying, 500 hedonist points. Time remaining, 2 months and 9 days. Investigate and discover the criminal behind Ma Dehu, 500 hedonist points. Time remaining, 10 days. Dissolve Bai Qing's hatred toward the host, 500 hedonist points. Break through to stage 3, 1,000 hedonist points. Help teacher Yun Xiao get rid of her fear and social anxiety, 1,000 hedonist points. Eliminate all of the capital's Liang family's forces, 20,000 hedonist points. Train Lu Bingbing, 3,000 hedonist points. Train Su Ruoro, 3,000 hedonist points. Rise into the second level of internal techniques, 500 hedonist points. Help Li Yu Chan rid herself of marriage and treaty headaches, 2,000 hedonist points. Take down the Sky City Su family's company, 10,000 hedonist points. After looking at these 12 quests in succession, Qin Feng chose 5 of them based on the time he had left to complete them and the ease of their completion. He was prepared to hurry and finish them as soon as possible. At this time, he was in dire need of hedonist points. If he wanted to awaken Lin Bei Bei, he would need to concoct a blood qi pill. However, only those that had broken through to the 4th stage of internal techniques could concoct pills. At this time, Qin Feng only had stage 1 internal abilities. Who knew when he could break through? However, the system sold ready-made blood qi pills for 10,000 hedonist points. Qin Feng was prepared to finish his quests more quickly. If that really didn't work out, then he'd use hedonist points to buy a blood qi pill and wake up Lin Bei Bei first. The 5 quests he chose were as follows. Make Lin Bei Bei the host girlfriend. Train Su Ruoro. Help teacher Yun Xiao get rid of her fear and social anxiety. Help Li Yu Chan rid herself of marriage and treaty headaches, 2,000 hedonist points. Investigate and discover the criminal behind Ma Dehu. Of these 5 quests, some were about to expire, and some were what Qin Feng considered to be comparatively easier. Qin Feng, what are you thinking about? Suddenly, Su Ruoro's voice drifted over. I'm thinking about you, Qin Feng said with a smile as he looked at her. A crimson blush immediately arose in Su Ruoro's pure and fair face. She gritted her teeth and said, Qin Feng, why you seem to have something on your mind these days. You can talk to me about whatever's making you unhappy. Though I'm not really one for comforting others, I've heard people say that if you tell someone the things on your mind when you're upset, you'll feel much better. Don't worry, no matter what you say to me, I'll make sure to keep it a secret. I'll never let anyone else know about it. Su Ruoro smiled at Qin Feng and looked at him with her large and expressive eyes wide. Su Ruoro, come to my office for a bit. Qin Feng had not yet spoken when Liu Chen's voice suddenly drifted from her office. Su Ruoro was so shocked that she stuck out her tongue. She looked nervously at Qin Feng. Oh no, oh no. General Manager Li discovered that you were secretly talking during work. I'm sure she's telling me to go over right now to scold me. Qin Feng pinched Su Ruoro's face when she saw how apprehensive she looked. Don't worry, if General Manager Li makes things difficult for you, say that, my friend. I gave General Manager Li a pair of stockings before, and she did give me some face. Su Ruoro walked into Liu Chen's office half-believing and half-doubting Qin Feng's words. General Manager Li, why you were looking for me? She entered and shut the door. Ruoro, don't stand, come sit. Liu Chen smiled at Su Ruoro and indicated for her to sit in the chair across from her. After Su Ruoro sat, she was extremely nervous and didn't dare move about carelessly. Ruoro, don't be nervous. I wasn't looking for you because of something work-related. I just wanted to casually chat with you about your family. Liu Chen laughed when she saw that Su Ruoro still looked afraid. In fact, Liu Chen had a request for Su Ruoro. Ever since she saw Su Ruoro sit in Chairman Qin's car and leave with him, Liu Chen took the time to observe her every day after work. She realized that for the past 3 days, Su Ruoro left in the same car as Assistant Han and Chairman Qin. This time, Liu Chen was certain about Su Ruoro's identity. She was most certainly a part of the Qin household, but she just kept a low profile. The whole time, she was forced by her mother to marry into the Qin family. This time, she was prepared to use Su Ruoro as her entry ticket. Ruoro, is there anything you're not used to in the company? If there's anything you don't understand or find difficult, don't be shy. Just tell me. Liu Chen first said these courteous words before presenting her request. Chapter 140. Chapter 140. Not seeking to progress. Su Ruoro was overwhelmed by the favor she was receiving. She would have never thought that the general manager of the sales department would call her over to talk about these things during work hours. She suddenly thought of Qin Feng's words from earlier. Could it really be that General Manager Li was being friendly with her to give Qin Feng face? Su Ruoro thought to herself that when she had the time, she should buy a pair of stockings for Liu Chen as well. It was said that it's really important to network with both upper management and the lower-class employees in a workplace. General Manager Li, the company is great and the coworkers all care about me. I'm very happy working here, and I've learned a lot of things, Su Ruoro said. That's good. That's very good, Liu Chen said absent-mindedly. She suddenly swayed the topic to the real one. Ruoro, there aren't many of us females in the sales department. You're a very earnest and diligent worker, so I also really like you. If possible, outside of work, we'll consider ourselves good sisters? What do you think? Su Ruoro didn't completely understand, but she nodded. Since we're good sisters, then I want to ask you something. Are you a member of the Qin family? In the end, Liu Chen asked her burning question. After asking, her little heart was stuck in her throat. Su Ruoro wasn't sure why Liu Chen was asking this. Since General Manager Li was her superior, and since she had a weak and soft personality, she naturally didn't have the guts to ask too many questions. She thought for a bit. She wasn't a member of the Qin family, but she worked in their home. According to the custom of the Qin family, she was actually considered a family member. Yes, I can be considered that. Though this response was ambiguous, Liu Chen was impossibly excited. It was clear that if a member of the Qin family were to work in their own company and start as a sales representative, they were looking to experience the life there. How could she bring up this matter directly? This unclear answer proved everything. Ruoro, so you're a member of the Qin family. Then you must know young Master Qin. You aren't young Master Qin's little sister, are you? Liu Chen grabbed Su Ruoro's hands and asked excitedly. I am not. Su Ruoro was scared stiff. Liu Chen realized that she had lost control of her emotions. She retracted her hands and smiled awkwardly. Ruoro, why you have the means of contacting young Master Qin, right? Can you tell me? Su Ruoro stared blankly at Liu Chen. She couldn't comprehend why Liu Chen would want this. General Manager Li was very strange today. However, since General Manager Li was her superior at work, Su Ruoro didn't dare ask questions. She thought a bit before saying, "General Manager Li, I only know young Master Qin's QQ number." Okay. A QQ number is good enough. Hurry and tell me, Liu Chen said directly. She knew that she guessed correctly. It seemed that Su Ruoro really was a member of the Qin household. If she could get young Master Qin's QQ number and slowly form a relationship with him, she should have a little bit of hope in marrying into the Qin family. Su Ruoro pulled out her phone, pulled up Qin Feng's QQ, and read it out loud. Liu Chen immediately whipped out a pen and wrote it down. After acquiring a way to contact young Master Qin, Liu Chen was impossibly excited. She began to talk to Su Ruoro about some superficial things again when Su Ruoro took the initiative to suggest that she take her leave. "General Manager Li, if there's nothing else, then I'll go back to work first." Okay. You go do what you need to." Liu Chen had a friendly smile. She looked like she had suddenly remembered something and immediately asked with her eyebrows raised, "That's right, little sister Ruoro. Is that Qin Feng also someone of the Qin family?" Su Ruoro's heart violently trembled. Why was General Manager Li so concerned about this question today? After hesitating for a bit, she nodded. He is. He's like me and doesn't really have a high position in the Qin family." At this time, Liu Cheng understood everything. No wonder the deputy manager of the administrative department covered for Qin Feng. No wonder she always saw Qin Feng and Su Ruoro arrive and leave work together. So they were both members of the Qin family. It didn't matter whether or not they had high positions. If they were members of the Qin family, they could not be provoked by ordinary people. Liu Chen deeply experienced the idea that danger lurks on every side in a workplace. Luckily, she hadn't previously offended Qin Feng or Su Ruoro. Otherwise, she could kiss her position as general manager goodbye. Su Ruoro felt a bit ill at ease. Before leaving, she looked at Liu Chen again. "Majorly, don't tell any outsiders about this. I'm also in a difficult situation." "Little sister Ruoro, don't worry. I definitely won't say anything." After receiving Liu Chen's promise, Su Ruoro was then able to feel reassured. She returned to her work desk. "What happened? Did you give Manager Li my famous name? She didn't do anything to you, did she?" Qin Feng asked casually when he saw Su Ruoro return. Su Ruoro shook her head. She thought a bit and decided she wouldn't tell Qin Feng about the events that just recently transpired. She was afraid that Qin Feng would yell at her if he knew she revealed information about young Master Qin. "Nothing. Manager Li was looking for me for a very normal chat." This was the second time Su Ruoro lied. After speaking, her face turned red. She lowered her head and pretended to work to prevent Qin Feng from noticing. On the other hand, Qin Feng didn't pay attention. He continued to think about the quests. At the same time, the atmosphere in Wang Chao's office became extremely cold. Wang Chao sat on the chair, facing his newly hired ass-kisser Xiaozhang. When Xiaozhang noticed that Wang Chao looked like he had eaten shit, he forced a smile and asked, "Group leader Wang, you were looking for me?" "Fuck, I'm pissed to the moon. This Qin Feng has recently become more and more arrogant. Ever since the cafeteria incident, he has a good reputation and is well regarded. When he walks into the company and stands in the elevator, you could hear practically employees everywhere talking about him, and most of them praise him. What kind of taste do these people have?" Wang Chao didn't seem to be having a conversation with Xiaozhang. It was more like a middle-aged woman whining. "This brat hadn't come to work for the past 3 days and didn't even greet me, much less mention anything about the leave of absence slip. The atmosphere of the sales department used to be quite good, and they all listened to me well. Ever since Qin Feng's arrival, everything changed. This is really a case where a piece of rat shit ruined a whole pot of soup. Look at Su Ruoro. She was originally such a cute and innocent girl. Now she hangs around trash like Qin Feng. Pretty soon, she's going to become a lowly woman. And General Manager Li, I think she also has something improper going on with Qin Feng. Say, are all the beauties of the sales department blind? They won't even look at a handsome and talented man like me, but they run over to associate with a hooligan with no future like Qin Feng instead. I can only use 4 words to describe these people. Not seeking to progress." Wang Chao's incessant nagging was like Tang Song chanting Buddhist scriptures. Xiao Zhang's head felt as though it was about to explode. He wanted to rush up, and so Wang Chao's mouth closed. But in reality, he could only retain a smile and look really earnest and interested while he listened to Wang Chao's unceasing complaints. Chapter 141. Chapter 141. An absolutely brilliant scheme. Xiao Zhang, tell me, who's more handsome between me and Qin Feng? Who is more talented? Wang Chao suddenly looked towards Xiao Zhang with a cold and wintry air. Xiao Zhang looked at Wang Chao's shoehorn face and said without thinking, Group Leader Wang, of course you're more handsome and more talented. Qin Feng is on a completely different level from you. How could he compare to Group Leader Wang? Wang Chao's icy gaze warmed, and a hint of a smile was revealed on his face. Suddenly, he said severely, Xiao Zhang, say that again with your hand to your heart. If you're lying, you'll be struck by lightning 5 times. Xiao Zhang's lips twitched. He unwillingly placed his hand on his chest and thought to himself that it was no big deal. If there was lightning in the future, he just wouldn't leave his house. He gritted his teeth and said, Group Leader Wang, of course you're more handsome and more talented. This time, Group Leader Wang bloomed with happiness. He walked up beside Xiao Zhang with a jolly laugh and patted his shoulder. He nodded with extreme satisfaction. Xiao Zhang, of the people I've seen in this company, you're the one with the best taste. You have outstanding abilities. I will definitely never mistreat you. After hearing Wang Chao's words, Xiao Zhang felt that it was worth lying on his conscience at first. Group Leader Wang, you want to deal with Qin Feng? Now that Xiao Zhang was considered one of his own, Wang Chao didn't pretend in front of him. He revealed a cloudy and fierce expression. I look forward to his death. Xiao Zhang saw that his opportunity had arisen. He immediately said with a smile filling his face, Group Leader Wang, I have a way of dealing with Qin Feng that could get him immediately ousted from the company. What is this method? Hurry and tell me. If it really works, then I'll help you nab first place in the sales department for this month. Wang Chao asked excitedly. Group Leader Wang, you've already said that there was something strange going on between Qin Feng and General Manager Li, so we can't use her to suppress Qin Feng. However, we can look to even higher levels of the company. If we can get Qin Feng to offend someone in senior management, no one would be able to save the brat. Sooner or later, he'll be sent out of the company. A sinister smile appeared on Xiao Zhang's face. Wang Chao furrowed his eyebrows and nodded. Xiao Zhang's larger target really wasn't bad. However, Wang Chao couldn't think of concrete details on how to carry this out. Xiao Zhang, do you already have a plan? Spit it out. You don't need to beat around the bush with me. Xiao Zhang was pleased with himself when he saw that he had piqued Group Leader Wang's interest. I do indeed have a brilliant plan. The target is the newly arrived lofty beauty assistant Han. She is a famous person that is right beside Chairman Qin. If someone offended her, they'd be offending Chairman Qin. Isn't that a way to get someone to beat it in minutes? Once they thought of Han Ying, her elegant and sexy appearance, and her charming and enchanting expression arose in their minds. They fantasized for a bit on their own before returning to the issue at hand. Group Leader Wang, think about it. If Qin Feng offended Assistant Han, and if it were something extremely severe, then what would happen? According to Assistant Han's strict and tyrannical personality, she'd destroy him on the spot. You're very right. Then how would we get Qin Feng to offend Assistant Han? Wang Chao felt that this plan was becoming increasingly plausible. Xiao Zhang revealed a sinister smile. He pulled out a condom from his wallet. This gave Group Leader Wang a fright. Wang Chao immediately stepped back 3 steps and looked nervously at Xiao Zhang. He said indignantly, What are you doing? I'm not the kind of person you think I am. And even if we're actually doing it, I want to be the initiator that carries out the attacks. Xiao Zhang had an expression of confusion. He didn't know why Wang Chao was suddenly so agitated. He looked at the condom in his hand, then looked at Wang Chao. He came to a sudden realization. His lips twitched and he said with disgust, Group Leader Wang, you've misunderstood me. This condom was prepared for Qin Feng. Prepared for Qin Feng? Wang Chao became aware that he had forgotten himself. He immediately straightened out his white dress shirt and cleared his throat. He said with complete seriousness, Why did you prepare such a thing for him? My plan is to make Qin Feng deliver documents to Assistant Han's office and to place this condom in the documents. When Assistant Han looks through the documents and discovers this plaything, she will certainly be furious. Maybe she might even cripple Qin Feng and terminate him on the spot. Qin Feng would then be notorious far and wide. If the plan goes as expected, Group Leader Wang would be rid of his eyesore, the sales department would still be your territory, and everyone would have to listen to you. Xiao Zhang said his entire plan in one breath. He was deeply afraid that Wang Chao would misunderstand him again. Xiao Zhang, that's clever. It truly is clever. After hearing the plan, Wang Chao's eyes glowed and he smiled so much that his mouth was about to cramp up. I didn't realize that you'd be even more sinister than me. No, I couldn't compare myself to Group Leader Wang, Xiao Zhang immediately said with a jolly smile. Group Leader Wang's expression suddenly fell. What do you mean by that? Are you saying that I'm more sinister than you? Are you saying I'm a vile and sinister person? Xiao Zhang was originally trying to kiss ass, but he didn't think Wang Chao would interpret it this way. He was drunk. He hurriedly explained. I was saying that I only know how to do these little schemes and crafty ideas. I can't compare to someone on the scale of Group Leader Wang. The ideas that you'd come up with would be much greater in both idea and action. People like me can't compare to that. Wang Chao's anger completely dissolved and his face broke into blooming smile. You little brat, you only know how to kiss ass. Go. Hurry and call Qin Feng over. I can't wait to see him get turned into waste. Okay, then I'll go. Wang Chao and Xiao Zhang exchanged glances and extremely vulgar smiles. At this time, Qin Feng was splayed on his desk in the lobby of the sales department. He was thinking about which quests he should complete first in the afternoon. Suddenly, a friend request notification popped up in his QQ. Qin Feng tapped on the notification and examined the profile. A single 26-year-old female. Her profile picture was a pair of beautiful fair legs. Qin Feng despicably rejected the request. He had seen plenty of these random requests from strangers, and most of them were cheats fit for losers. They clearly weren't to the taste of this hedonistic young master. How could he reject my friend request? Liu Qin sat in her office and looked nervously at her computer screen. She saw young Master Qin reject her friend request and suddenly felt disheartened. She heard that young Master Qin liked beauties and long legs. She purposely took a picture of her beautiful legs and used it as her profile picture. However, she was still rejected. However, Liu Cheng clearly wouldn't give up just like that. She thought for a bit. Then, her face flushed slightly as she ran to lock the door to her office. She copied those fujoshis and tugged her collar down a little more, and a little more. She lifted her phone over the top of her head, emphasized her chest, revealing a deep chasm. After hesitating 3 times, she swiped this to her profile picture and sent young Master Qin another friend request. Fuck, another person wants to add me. Isn't this young master too charming? Chapter 142. Chapter 142. Meeting with a beautiful woman. Qin Feng opened the notification manager again. It turned out to be the person from before. The profile hadn't changed, but the profile picture had changed again. Based on Qin Feng's expertise from inspecting countless chests, he had to say that this weapon had the strength of over 50,000. It had the ability to kill a field of single men in seconds. However, since this chest was too stunning, Qin Feng wondered if this person had just downloaded a picture from the internet. They were like the lovely legs from before. So beautiful they looked kind of fake. He also became increasingly certain that this person had to be one of those women that use their bodies to cheat people of their money. Qin Feng viewed those kinds of people with disdain, so he rejected her request once again. What? This cleavage is still not good enough? Do you want me to strip myself bare? In the office, Liu Chun was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. Originally, she wasn't the kind of person who used sex appeal to curry favor with people, but she forced herself to do these things she was unwilling to do in order to fulfill her mother's wish. In the end, young Master Qin didn't even care to add her. She knew that if she sent another friend request like this, he would definitely be annoyed. He might even blacklist her forever. After some consideration, Liu Chang could only give up and stop. She decided to try and add him again in a couple of days. Without the distraction of the friend request, Qin Feng's cell phone suddenly rang again. He looked at the notification for an incoming call. It was an unfamiliar number. Hello, thank you for calling the sales department of Royal Group. I'm the gold medal sales representative Qin Feng. If you wish to buy a house, I can speak with you about it in detail. I am this company's elite salesperson. All business is limited to negotiations and signing contracts in the company. I will decline all dinners and appointments that use the excuse of buying a house or negotiating a contract. Of course, if you're a beauty, that's another story. As a sales representative, Qin Feng said all this with complete seriousness. When Su Ruoro, who was sitting across from him, saw how Qin Feng said all this with seriousness, she couldn't help but burst into laughter. Bai Qing, who was on the other side of the phone, had an expression of shock. She thought she called the wrong number. Oh, I was wondering why young Master Qin hadn't been coming to Royal Hotel, so he has swide jobs and became a sales representative. If all of the beauties of Acropolis City found out, wouldn't they all jump into the river or hang themselves? Oh, it's Miss Qing Qing. I was just thinking of you and was about to call you. I even had your number pulled up and was about to press on it when you called first. Qin Feng recognized Bai Qing's voice right away. He thought about how he still had a quest relating to Bai Qing, so he could use this opportunity to take care of it. Young Master Qin, if I remember correctly, you never asked me for my phone number. How would you call me? Bai Qing's voice was extremely flirtatious. Whoever heard it would feel limp and numb. However, her current expression was exceptionally icy. She bit her lip tightly, and a bit of a murderous air flickered in her eyes. The last time she and Qin Feng met was half a month ago when Qin Feng brought her to the Royal Jewelers and bought a 890,000 yuan 5-carat diamond necklace. However, after the necklace was purchased, Bai Qing hadn't worn it at all. Why would she wear the necklace Qin Feng gifted to her? She hated Qin Feng to no end. If this necklace was gifted to her 4 years ago, Bai Qing would have been moved to tears, and she'd marry Qin Feng. But he gave it now and gifted it to her with the intention of courting her. This made Bai Qing hate Qin Feng even more. Ahem. Is something the matter that you're calling me Miss Qing Qing? Qin Feng's lie was caught, so he coughed twice and changed the subject. Young Master Qin, we have a high school reunion and everyone's bringing their significant others. I want to bring you to this reunion as my boyfriend. Would you happen to have the time to attend? Bai Qing said coquettishly. As a fake boyfriend? Qin Feng raised his eyebrows. He felt that this wasn't really a good idea. It could be considered that, Bai Qing said, this reunion will be at the mountain resort. We'll leave in an hour and stay for a night. If you attend this reunion as my boyfriend, we'll certainly be living together tonight. Qin Feng's expression changed. He said with extreme sincerity, a high school reunion is a really important reunion. How could you not bring a boyfriend if you want to preserve face? Wait for me. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't you dare leave without me. After hanging up, Qin Feng suddenly stood. He looked at Su Ruoro with seriousness. Ruoro, don't wait for me after work. Go back and older sister Ying in Chairman Qin's car. And tell them that a master of sales who will share his many years of sales experience is coming to Acropolis City for a lecture. I must listen to this lecture and learn some sales techniques from this senior. Don't wait for me tonight for dinner. And after eating, don't wait for me either. Rest early. After saying this, Qin Feng ran out like the wind. After running halfway, the voice of an ass-kisser called out from behind him. Qin Feng, it's work time. Where are you running to? Hey, did you hear me? Hurry and get back here. Group leader Wang is looking for you. The more Xiao Zhang shouted, the louder his shouts became. In the end, he hurt his throat, but from start to finish, Qin Feng didn't spare him a glance. At this time, he disappeared from sight. 10 minutes later, a low-key 28 bicycle stopped lavishly in the VIP parking area of the Royal Hotel. Right when Qin Feng got off his bike, he saw an angry security guard run over. Hey, stinking brat, this is Royal Hotel's VIP parking lot. You're riding a... The security guard stopped mid-shout because he recognized Qin Feng. This was the prince of Royal Hotel, young Master Qin. The security guard's expression changed like he was putting on a show. In an instant, he went from being furious to putting on a favor-currying smile. Young Master Qin, you're really too domineering for riding this 28 bicycle. In the current flighty society, as long as they have some money, those dog-fart-rich young masters love competing and flaunting their wealth with their luxury cars. They want to eat their family property on their heads for others to see. There are too few people like young Master Qin who are so wealthy and powerful yet so low-key and eco-friendly. This is the sad state of society. While talking, the security guard's eyes moistened. Young Master Qin, you're truly a great role model that I should learn from. I'm truly touched. Are you done kissing ass? If you say any more, I won't give you a tip. Qin Feng said lowly, go. And while this young master's seed of compassion, if it's scraped, rubbed, or stolen, I'll come looking for you. Young Master Qin, don't worry. This little one will definitely want for you well. The security guard promised while trying to gain Qin Feng's favor. He weighed Qin Feng's slowly receding back before he dared to reveal a despicable expression. He muttered quietly to himself, what kind of young Master Qin are you? I praised you for so long, but you didn't even give me enough to buy a bottle of water. What a miser. Qin Feng sneezed all the way from the parking lot to the Royal Hotel. He knew that there must be someone talking smack about him behind his back. Young Master Qin, you're here. Once Qin Feng walked into the hotel, all of the managers and various employees that welcomed guests ran over. He had not come to the Royal Hotel in a long time. With his sudden appearance, the employees of the hotel did not dare to neglect anything. Qin Feng ignored these people's sweet-talking. After entering the hotel lobby, he stood there blankly. His vision went straight ahead and fell on the body of a seductive beauty. In Qin Feng's memory, Bai Qing always wore her work uniform, a black suit with black pantyhose. This was the first time he saw her dressed casually. She wore a long, blue silk dress, and there were some simple designs weaved into the dress. Her smooth and exquisite legs were unrestricted, and she wore a pair of black crystal high heels. She gave off a high-class and sexy aesthetic appeal. This was a long dress with a low neckline. It revealed the lovely fairness of Bai Qing's chest. Her beautiful and refined collarbones and her long jade neck were both details worthy of admiration. Also, the addition of a diamond necklace that shone with an air of extravagance on her impossibly fair jade neck upped her dress style a couple of levels. Bai Qing could already see Qin Feng. She wore a charming smile on her face and walked towards Qin Feng with small quick steps. With every step she took, there was a crisp clack of her high heels hitting the marble floor. The sound echoed in Qin Feng's heart. It was rhythmic and extremely sexy. The edge of her dress covered her knees and fluttered slightly with the wind. The sight attracted Qin Feng's gaze. She hadn't yet arrived, but he could already smell the fragrance that was exuded out of the bottom of her skirt. With a sincere heart, Qin Feng prayed that Bai Qing would fall so he could take a peek and see if she was wearing safety shorts under her dress. Young Master Qin, what are you looking at that you're so entranced? Bai Qing walked up beside Qin Feng and naturally placed a tender and fair jade hand onto his shoulder. She intentionally stuck her body close to Qin Feng's and stuck out the soft white of her chest for Qin Feng to see. Qin Feng suddenly used his strength to pull Bai Qing tightly into his embrace. He blew into her ear. Miss Qing, how about we skip the vacation village? Let's get a room. I have lots of questions regarding academic research that I would like to discuss with you about. Bai Qing was caught off guard. Qin Feng's sudden actions made her squeak in surprise. At this time, her chin was pressed into Qin Feng's shoulder and her face was stuck to Qin Feng's ear. She could clearly feel Qin Feng's hands fall restlessly onto her behind, causing a faint iciness to pass through her charming eyes. Young Master Qin, so many people are looking. How could you be so rough? Everyone feels embarrassed. Bai Qing smiled tenderly and struggled out of Qin Feng's embrace. I've already agreed to the reunion and I took today and tomorrow off for it. Wait until we get to the vacation village. We're going to live together at night, young Master Qin, so don't be in such a hurry. Once again, Bai Qing took the initiative to lean into Qin Feng's embrace and lightly punched his chest. Qin Feng took Bai Qing's jade hand with a jolly smile. Okay. I won't be in a hurry. When we get to the vacation village, we'll study well. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.